Warning, Dazz Radio is not responsible for any losses, damages, or liabilities that may arise from the use of this podcast. 1K frequency is not intended to replace professional advice, and our views may not necessarily reflect those views of our featured guests.
Great to have you here with us. Welcome to 1K Frequency with your hosts, Dazzo, Skittlekicks, and Atlas.
What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to 1K Frequency on Dazz Radio, episode number 13. And we are back in the studio with Skittlekicks.
Yo.
And the amazing Ember Rose.
What's up, what's up?
So, how are you two doing?
Well, I guess I could talk about what happened to me a couple days ago.
Jump right into it.
So, I've got to because if you can't tell, my voice is a little bit nerfed up right now. So I had made basically kind of like a Hot Pocket thing, and there's the kind of jacks you can like break in half or whatever. Well, when I took a bite of it, it was already hot, so I was like, okay, this is hot, whatever. But it was actually a bigger chunk than I thought it was going to be, and it was like burning my mouth so bad. And then I don't know what happened, but I ended up swallowing this chunk whole, and it kind of sort of lodged in my throat and just scorched the hell out of my throat. I'm talking like I feel like I got second-degree burns on my frickin' Adam's apple around that region. And to make an analogy, it would be like if you had strep throat.
Yep.
Or that, like, when you get sick, like you can kind of feel that lump, like that really painful lump in your throat. That's exactly what this feels like. But this has been 3 days now. It's healing. My fiance told me I should get that numbing spray to see if that'll help, and I haven't gotten any, but I haven't gargled with any salt water. But yeah, that was a nice little experience. And it's been very painful to swallow, eat, even blow my nose hurts because obviously your nose and throat are kind of connected, and so putting all that pressure really does not feel good. And if people say, well, why didn't you blow on your food? Well, I kind of did. And I was not expecting a big chunk of food to get stuck in my throat like that. I didn't choke. But it's still, shut up. I can hear you laughing, you asshole. This is painful. So, yeah, that was my day. A couple days
I've had
ago,
that happen many times. I know that feeling.
Yeah, but did it actually get stuck in your throat and actually burn your throat?
Yep.
It was
Yep.
because I could literally feel it going down my esophagus and just burning all the way down into my stomach.
Yep. I've had them many times.
Yeah, and this just...
Especially when the
oh
food
my
is
God.
like way too good. So you're wanting just to chow it down.
Well, the thing is, I'm also a fast eater. Like, I
Yep.
can finish a meal I can finish in like 7 minutes. It's just insane how fast I am. And I blame my school for that. Schools fucking suck with their lunches because not just the food's bad, but I'm talking about forcing kids to,
Yeah.
lunch periods like between 11 and 12,
Yeah.
depending on where you go. You have to wait a long ass line to get your food. By the time you get your food, it's already quarter after because it takes that long to get your food. You
Yep.
sit down, try to find a table to sit at, and then you're shoving food down your mouth, and then, now it's kind of time to go to class. Are you kidding me? No. So I think that's
Yeah.
where it all started, was all my years in school, just having to shove food in my mouth.
Yeah.
No time to socialize, no time to relax, just blah, blah, blah.
I mean,
come in shoveling. Come in
probably the same is for work because most places only give you half an hour lunch break.
I was lucky. A lot of my jobs, once I actually got into like the better workforces, were actually a full hour.
Yeah, like the bigger companies, yeah, it's about an hour.
Well, like in IT, for example, IT was actually you get an hour for lunch. I mean, obviously you have to make that up because it was not paid. Half hour is typically paid, but full hour is not, at least at some jobs. So
Yeah.
I never got paid for that. So I had to compensate and stay an extra hour later for work, but whatever. And that became really fun when I went to college because I was working college and working full time. and having to get up at frickin' 3:30 in the morning to get to work by 5, and then have to go to my college at 1 o'clock after work, sit there for 4.5 or 4 hours waiting for my actual evening class to start because I wasn't going to drive back and forth from home to that because of the distance. I was closer from my work to my school than I was from my home to my school.
Right.
So, and I did that for 2 years.
Oh.
I burned out. So anyway, so that was my couple of. So if you guys can hear my voice, it's pretty gnarly.
It doesn't sound as bad as you say it does, if that makes you feel any better.
Does, but what I hear in my ears may not be what you're hearing over the mic. So because you obviously hear differently.
Yeah. Wow.
But it actually does hurt to talk. But you
Of
know,
course.
It will hurt to talk, and don't be alarmed if it hurts for like more than a week, because an esophagus can take.
I guarantee if this was second degree burns, I guarantee it's gonna be a long time.
So I'd say probably like 2 to 4 weeks probably for it to actually like heal and not hurt. And I also recommend that soft foods that are easy to chew and swallow. So like not hot soup, or like squash, mashed potatoes, yogurt, stuff like that.
Remember, I'm diabetic, so potatoes are off the table
Well,
for the most
I'm
part.
just giving you options.
I know. I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying there's certain foods I have to be very careful of, even though I can eat them.
Right.
Gelato will be nice.
Yeah. So just.
I am not fancy for gelato. I am not fancy. I go for frickin' cheap ass frickin' ice cream.
There you go.
God, you just put that episode of The Big Bang Theory in my head where they all went over to frickin' Stan Lee's house for gelato.
Oh my god.
Just put that episode in my head. My God.
Oh
man. Anyway, what about you two? What have you been up to?
Been a crazy week. Work-wise, anyways.
Yeah. No, it's been a busy time. We're transitioning from, even though some days it still kind of feels like winter, but, transitioning to that nice weather outside. So can't complain with that.
Yeah.
It's just been, a busy time and trying to get, all the, I changed out my wardrobe earlier of all my like winter stuff to all my spring, summer stuff. So just kind of gearing up into that part of the year.
I find this ironic because we just had a snowstorm roll through here, and there's more on the way, and it's all wet snow.
Yeah, it's that springtime.
The winter has not let us go yet.
Nope.
We had a wicked rain and windstorm come through here last night.
That was probably what you were on the warmer end of that storm, so we got the snow, you got the rain and the wind. Yep.
I got the wet snow yesterday. Or just technically this morning.
Yeah, which was not fun to drive in, I'm sure.
It's all slush.
Yeah, so I bet when you drove to work.
Even up north, we had freezing rain.
Oh yeah, we had that too. Yep.
Those are not fun.
Ew. My dad actually slipped on the ice the other day on the same hip he broke a few years ago.
Oof.
And he had that. Well, yeah, that was when he had hip replacement surgery. Was because he when he was on a ladder, he misjudged the last rung. And fell backwards and landed on his hip. And my dad's in his 70s.
Yep.
And when he broke his hip, it basically cracked where the ball and the shaft of the hip bone meet, like that that little piece of bone that always breaks.
Yeah.
And broke that, so he's got a titanium one in there. But he landed on it again. After slipping on the ice trying to get our dog's rope untangled back.
Poor guy.
That was not fun.
No,
I thought, I did tell him to go get x-rayed because he's the one who does not do that kind of shit. But I'm like, you didn't, like, he did, like, so when he broke it a few years ago, I was doing a podcast at the time. I was actually at my friend's house doing the podcast. I just wrapped up and called my dad and said, "Hey, I'm on my way back." And he's like, "Yeah, I just fell. I fell like a couple hours ago. I'm like in a lot of pain." I'm like, "What the hell did you do?" "Oh, I fell off a ladder." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Mm-hmm.
Really? I got pissed at him because I'm like, "Why were you climbing on a ladder?" Because he does not have. He was born with cerebral palsy. So one of his legs has always been shorter than the other. Kind of, they thought it was polio because that was still a big thing in the 50s.
Yep.
But it turned out it was most likely cerebral palsy because it has kind of the same effect. And so one leg was shorter than the other. He had it stretched when he was a kid, but it has like no calf muscle. And he's always been very unbalanced because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And climbing on ladders and things like that, he's always kind of done. But as he's gotten older, it's not as easy. And so, yeah, when he falls, it's just going to hurt. And obviously, when you get older, your bones don't survive like they once did. And despite all the milk drinking that we were told back when we were kids, it don't do shit.
No, it just lessens the hurt, but even then,
yeah,
it's bones.
Oh, that was great to do. That was like and a half ago, I think, is when it happened. I was actually no, it was on it was on Sunday.
Mm.
So before he actually went to church, and I'm like, so yeah, and that was when we had the ice storm roll through. On top of that,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, it's been a great week for me. So, and you've been chaotically busy, Dazz, obviously, because I barely see you on Discord these days.
Yeah.
And I think you popped on like a couple times to play a couple games.
Yep.
But that's really about it, and not even any streaming either, as far as I could tell.
I mean, I did the stream the last day.
Last night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Must have missed that then. I don't get alerts anymore, to be honest. I like never get alerts because YouTube sucks.
YouTube. Yep. YouTube breaks everything. So it's not a surprise.
Yeah. What else is new, right?
Exactly.
So, well, I guess we can get on with the show. Guess we can talk. I mean, there was not like all the news I was looking for. There's barely anything there, but it did capture a couple things with the gaming world. I do want to start with Roadcraft because that game looks really fun. Those that don't know, Roadcraft is from the same makers of SnowRunner and MudRunner.
Yep,
so
same developers.
You'll have a lot of the same physics. Yeah, same game developers. I think it's a different publisher though. Could not tell. I was never interested in the first two games, like MudRunner or SnowRunner. I'm like, okay, meh, big deal. You know, I just didn't really see the fascination. But as I do like Construction Simulator, Roadcraft seems to be pretty cool. Like, you actually are building, like, infrastructure, which I thought was really, really cool. It is kind of an arcadey game because obviously you do have, like, achievements and other stuff that you go through, but the fact that you can drive, like, you know, heavy equipment and, you know, do things like that is pretty cool. I think I first learned about this game from a YouTuber named Blue Wizard, and I thought it was kind of fascinating to watch that. I know that Squirrels played it a couple times with his friends, but I will say it looks fun. It looks challenging. I don't know if it uses more advanced physics than the predecessor games, but it looks like the physics are fairly realistic. I think it is fully controller supported, which is great, and obviously you can run WASD if you want to, or arrow keys or whatever if you really feel like that. I don't see how beneficial that would be, just because keyboard and games like that just suck. You know, when I played Construction Simulator, the only time I would use my controller was when I'm driving. Otherwise, I'm using keyboard when I'm on the ground and like setting up stuff or whatever, just because it's more efficient that way. So like fumble fucking around trying to swap between the two.
Yeah.
But it looks cool. I know Dazzo you have on your wish list right now. According to
it was actually on sale over the weekend, if I remember correctly.
It was okay. So it just went. Then it just went off sale. But that's only for the pre-order though. It's not out yet.
Yeah.
There's only a pre-order. There's two pre-orders you can get. Uh, there's one that's for $39.99 right now, $39.99 US.
Yep.
And that is, I think, just the base game. And then there's another one that's almost like a deluxe edition. I didn't really go into the details of what that offers compared to the other one. But they do have an offer where if you pre-order any one of those two, you can get an extra dump truck, it looks like, which looks pretty cool. But you'd have to get the pre-order before May 10th, I think was the release date that they've posted. I forget, but I know it's in May. I think it is May 10th, but I don't know. Well, it does look fun. Obviously, some of the bigger YouTubers get advanced copies of the game, and I think it's barely finished. Because I was gonna say I thought this was a demo, but no, there's no demo for it. It's literally a full fleshed out game. I think it is going to go early access though.
It might come out as EA.
As EA, that's what I'm kind of hoping for, because I think that EA is the proving ground, and I'm sure with the success of SnowRunner and with Mud Runner, I don't see this game sitting in EA very long. Maybe a couple of months, maybe 3 or 4 months at the most. So probably by summer it'll be fully fleshed out, because they've already got the experience with 2 of the games that were really, really popular.
Yeah.
So I don't see why this one I don't think would be a huge thing. I think what they will do is probably add a lot more maps, or like map extension world. That's what my guess is. But I don't know entirely, to be honest, because I haven't really followed the game. I just have it in my wish list. I literally just added it today because it just looked really fun after I was watching that guy play it. So, but what's your opinion on it?
I'm excited for this game. When I first saw it, I was like, "Whoa!" It's almost like construction sim in a sense, but with Roadrunner, Mudrunner,
SnowRunner. And the funny thing is too, like, you really were never into the Mud Runner, Snow Runner thing. Like, you never.
But I actually was into construction sim.
I am too, but nobody wants to play anymore because that game's kind of dead right now. So, like, nobody wants to play it. I buy the game and then nobody wants to play it. So yay. I have like 80. I have 80 hours into the 2015 version, but that's me and my brother playing it. But I've only got a couple of hours in the other one, which is basically the tutorial stuff, and I still haven't even finished the tutorial yet, so I can't even open up multiplayer yet.
Yeah, I think we need to.
And we already know what my multiplayer. You already know what my multiplayer experience is like. A lot of popcorn. A lot of popcorn.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, but it looks fun. I mean, one day we'll have to do it, but you guys know my obsession. You know, my obsession is taking over my life. You know, over 1,700 hours now, so.
That was my struggle with Construction Sim and SnowRunner, is that I would start to play it, and then I wasn't doing it multiplayer, so I'd get stuck, and then I had no way to continue, because you almost needed other people to be like, especially for SnowRunner, oh my god, I'm the person that got stuck every 5 seconds.
Sounds like somebody has a skill issue.
Total skill issue. Total skill issue.
Well, at least you don't drive ambulances in real life.
Yeah. I'm a better driver. I'm a better driver in real. Hey, one day I'll be driving the fire truck, so get out of the way. But yeah, no, I'm a better driver in real life than I am in gaming. 120%.
I wonder if GTA 5, watching her play, that is any indication of how she would really drive in real life.
I am a good driver in real life. Okay. You know what? So my driving now in GTA is a lot better than it used to be. Look at some of my streams from like, I don't know, like 2 years ago. Jesus Christ. They were scary.
Dude, my driving, I was such an expert driver. I made no mistakes in GTA 5. I could clear corners at full speed, lights and sirens going. I could do all the things I could. Yeah, that's not really the story. No. I'm in that same boat. The driving mechanics in that game are atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I have a steering wheel. Don't use a steering wheel in that game. You will regret your life. I tried my steering wheel in that game to see if it would help. It does not. So, yeah, don't use a steering wheel.
Speaking of games, Flashing Lights just released their roadmaps for the spring and summer of 25.
Yeah?
Ooh.
I haven't seen
Yep.
that article. Go ahead. What do we got? What do we got?
So coming in spring, likely around May to June, give or take. The city is going to get new buildings and locations, day and night cycle, street names for the map UI, and the
Finally.
mission locations update. We'll get a actual update. So that's pretty cool for the spring.
Yeah, because the current map locator is all like you
Yeah.
have to like the way they do it is not exactly easy to understand. Like
Mm-hmm.
they have a 4-digit system. 2 digits are for north and south. 2 digits are for east and west. You kind of gotta nerf around trying to figure out your directions because it's not always easy to figure that out. There's no waypoint really.
Yeah.
You know, like with GTA 5, at least you had like a little line that you could follow.
Yeah.
That never really happened. That's fine if it doesn't, but I think that having street names would be a lot better. Like
Especially
kind of like
now
how
that, especially now that the game has expanded to that level.
I think so. If like like we have the address thing in LSPDFR.
Yep.
The what I forget what it's called, but they have that mod.
Mm-hmm.
That would be awesome if there's something similar to that in Flashing Lights.
I think that's
Now,
what it
I
is.
love that. I mean, honestly, I do like that game a lot. I've always enjoyed that game because I spend a lot of time like detailing my car and things like that or my vehicles.
Yep.
But I had some issues where I don't know if you guys ever experienced this, but I had to go and tow a vehicle, but I didn't want to leave the scene, but I still had to, so I had to go take my squad car, drive it down to get a tow truck. No, actually, no. I left my car. Left my car. Went to go get a tow truck. I literally had to run to get my tow truck, which is like on the other side of the map.
Oh god.
And yeah, because that makes a lot of sense. Like, yeah, a cop would really do that. And then, because I don't think you can call for tow. This game.
I think
don't
now.
think you can.
I think actually. If
I don't
memory
remember if
serves
you can or not. I know you can call for
correctly,
I know you
believe
can call for fire. I think
No,
you
you
can call for
can.
fire and paramedic.
You
Really, because
should
that was
be
not a
able
thing when
to.
I was playing. Okay, well that's a new feature that I may not have known about. But anyway, so I had to go down there. So when I got into my truck, my car was gone. It literally despawned.
Yeah.
That was my point. So that kind of annoyed me, as I'm like, well, why would my car despawn? I mean, this is not Minecraft, where things despawn after like 5 minutes, I think.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's very annoying. The only thing too was the sound effects really sucked. I mean, they had decent sirens, but the freaking the car sounds, the engine sounds, were just ass.
Yeah.
It just never sounded realistic. And when you bump into stuff, it's like this weird kind of like 80s like thump 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 or whatever. It's like
Yep.
you don't hear like metal bending or glass shattering. Like you hear none of that stuff. Like I said, I mean, GTA 5 had some pretty good sound effects because they actually use like realistic sounds. That would be an awesome thing if they added that to the game. But anyway, I digress. I didn't mean to interrupt or hijack that, but continue. What else is on their roadmap besides the map update and the address updates?
So in the summer of 25, they're going to update the K9.
Ooh.
So AI dog for PD and FD, K9 transport, K9 callouts, and K9 AI backup unit.
So I'm thinking that's going to be part of a DLC then, only because I don't think they have a K9 vehicle yet, or do they?
I think I think they did
DLC.
drop it, but it wasn't full-fledged of getting
All fleshed
all
out.
the update.
Yeah, that would make sense.
If
So-
That
they
would be cool.
Sorry, if they do those correctly, they'll have some really good success with that. Because I know, especially with like LSPDFR, like everybody loves the canine features. So if they do that correctly, they could see some user increase.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
agree. And I
But
think
then again,
but the thing with LSPDFR and even the 5, I mean, how that mechanic worked was always really tricky.
Yeah, I mean, I know
Only
this.
like if you, yeah, like I think in SLRP, I think it was mainly Mark, and I think sometimes Jeffrey would actually control the dog, because it was just it was an ass job to even do, and they were like, yeah, this thing is really effed up in the
well, it's a
multiplayer
script
server,
after
so
all.
Yeah.
that's the thing, because the script and it doesn't behave, because multiplayer is so much different than LSPDFR, different world altogether, so it doesn't always do what you want it to do.
That's
But,
why in previous communities that I ran and owned, when we ran K9, it would actually be a player-to-player K9 and a actual police officer. Or we could technically go, if they're reserve Leo, they can go that route.
Mm.
That's what I used to do.
Okay. I mean, that would be really cool. I mean, it'd be really cool when
It's
they add
better
that
than
to,
AI, to be quite fair.
AI has never been good for.
No,
It's just
unless you're doing LSPDFR.
not even then. Not even then. The AI is. I mean, remember too. I mean, I don't know how much of the core game it actually changes, but I mean, it's dramatic enough that, I think AI gets more derped up. And I know there's a couple of mods out there where you can actually physically change the AI's behavior, especially traffic. But I found that to be cumbersome because nobody would ever speed, so the speed traps were useless at that point. They didn't. There was one that you actually could get where it actually wouldn't hinder fire trucks. Like if you were doing FD or whatever, you could set up a mod that actually prevented AI from just cutting you off. I can't remember what the mod was called, but yeah.
Oh my Jesus Christ. Why am I getting another hotfix detail from Enzo?
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
my
not even going to
God.
talk about that. That game is just a clusterfuck of stupid, and I don't even want to talk about that game.
Yeah, I just.
And I think it's pronounced.
the
I think it's actually pronounced
Inzoi.
Inzio because there is an I. Oh yeah,
Inzoi.
Inzoi. Yeah, Inzoi. Yeah, I have no interest in that game. I think it's especially after reading that one article. I'm like, really, you're gonna fucking go down that route because a bunch of no.
I see 231 comments in this post right now, and all I see is nothing but LGBTQ questions.
And I bet you it's a fucking bot. It's probably the same exact fucking person that does it at every fucking game like this. It's the same people.
Yep.
Fuck
Pretty sure.
you. And they're gonna do it, and they're gonna fucking do it. I even read an article on PC Gamer that they're gonna fucking do that. Like, why do we need this shit again? People escape games from politics and bullshit. We don't need this force fed down our fucking throats. I'm over it.
I mean, I guess that community wants to play as a...
No, the community is so fucking small, but they're the ones that scream the loudest. That's the problem. The smallest community is now getting the most attention because reasons of just insanity. But it's just, okay, because that right there, that's going to drive me into my Tesla comment because fucking the nuts out there, seriously. You did this.
Okay, go for it.
I blame you. Fucking did this to me, man. So, if you've been living under a rock, assholes of this world have decided that because Elon Musk is so evil because he's trying to cut bloat out of the government and shut programs down so we can save money as taxpayers is so evil and so dark. We're gonna go to dealerships and we're gonna burn cars up, and we're gonna put swastikas and we're gonna fucking do this to people's cars because we're dumb. Are you fucking kidding me? And I'm thinking, okay, you're a fucking terrorist. You have now been designated by our federal government as terrorists. Baffo.
Fuck around and find
A
out.
woman who was 61 years old was literally, and this is on camera, was boxed in by a lunatic driver and his passenger because she was driving a Tesla. 61 years old. Guy walks up to her car and starts punching her in the car. The only thing that she could do is she actually figured out a way to bite the guy in the hand.
Yeah.
And then his butt buddy decided, hey, I'm going to pull you away from this car and take off. People don't realize Teslas have tons of cameras. They have this thing that will catch your ass. You know, it's like, fuck around and find out. And I swear to God, politicians, you motherfuckers out there egging this shit on, I hope to God you are thrown in prison for this. You are inciting this insanity. You are fucking lunatics. You understand? You are fucking lunatics. We do not need this bullshit. So right now, our Attorney General, Pam Bondi, has already said, and she was very bold about this, you people will face at least 20 years in prison. I don't think that goes far enough. I think 50 to 100 years because of the acts of terrorism. You need to make fucking examples. Make fucking examples of these people.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They do not need, and this goes for any country that's doing this because this was a global event.
Yeah.
I think even Canada did this shit too.
Yes. There were parts of it.
And
too.
by the way, we're all the fucking environmentalists screaming about this because you know what happens when you burn a lithium battery? You know what fucking happens? How much of that shit's put back into the fucking environment?
Exactly.
How much of that shit is destroying your precious, oh my God, we're going to be dead by 2030. Yeah, you're fucking doing this to yourselves. You are fucking this whole thing up. But useful idiots. Useful fucking idiots. I have no sympathy whatsoever. It's no different than you assholes that protested at our colleges and fucking tormented the Jewish people. Fuck you. I cannot wait till whoever you are that are on green cards are fucking deported. Get the fuck out. We're done with you. You Tesla fuckers out there trying to burn these cars down and terrorize people. Fucking prison time, man. Fucking prison time.
Yep.
You are done. We are done with your asses. We are fucking done. Get the fucking message through your pea brain fucking skulls. We're done with you. We are fucking done.
Ladies and gentlemen, this Skills Rant has been brought to you by Kiplam.
I had that coming, didn't I?
Yep.
I had that coming. Anyway.
Only make you a see.
Rant over. So moving on to back to gaming. I didn't really find a lot of ATS except like they're doing some Iowa work right now.
Yeah.
Some of the bridges. They're adding some of the bridges that actually light up, which is kind of cool. I've seen a few. There's a few of them in other states. I don't remember what states they're in, but there's a couple of them that are already out there, which is kind of cool. I don't remember if they will change, like if they're like what's the term? Like if they're like real time change, or like you go back and forth, and it's like a different color every time you come back in. Like they're dynamic. That's the word I'm looking for. That would be cool. That would be cool.
I don't see that would be a hard to mimic.
No, and it wouldn't have to load unless you're actually in that location anyway.
Exactly.
It'd be like a chunk loader. A chunk load.
Yep.
Which I think most of that game is, because you can see a lot of stuff populating when you're driving. Like especially if you have your draw distance turned down, which I have to because my graphics card's a little bit better. The rest of my computer is I found out my processor. My processor, my Ivy Bridge, is a 3rd generation,
Yeah.
which means it does not like Windows 11 because fuck Microsoft. Anyway, um, so I saw that and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And they're doing some like other road networking stuff too, which is neat. Um,
Do you
and
think
I don't know how
Iowa's going to drop before September?
when did
Well,
Missouri's not out yet, is it?
Missouri
Missouri's
on
out
Thursday.
in like a yeah. I'm gonna let's see what month we're into. March, April, May. But already April now. Is it April?
Because normally,
Well, if it's do you think it's a 3-month cycle or do you think it's a 4-month cycle?
oh, I don't
Because
have
it'll either be July.
I don't
It'll
have
either
that thing pulled up because SDS always drops 10 to 12 blog post before they drop the DLC. I think we're about halfway into the Iowa notes, I think.
I think Iowa's pretty much finished because it's not a very big state.
To be honest,
I think right now they're probably in the early. I think they're in the early testing phases.
they are in the
I think.
testing phase.
Yeah.
Because yeah, Iowa was all done mid to late last year.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that we're gonna
This
get
is all
Iowa.
just, you know,
I think a beta release for Iowa will be sometime in
July.
mid June, early July. That's what my guess is, and then
Okay.
full release by September because we'll get a patch update, like a 1.45 or 1.55 might come out.
You think?
I think we'll get another big. I think we'll do that because they seem to do that with every state
Yeah.
update. So every state they always do a major patch update,
Hey, Philin.
which is usually like 5 gigs. It's like a 5 gig thing.
Yeah.
My
Well,
guess is definitely before Halloween, we'll have Iowa, and then
I
I think
think
Illinois will be pushed out to next year. I think first quarter of next year. That's what my assumption is.
I think pushing Iowa to October is way of a push.
Only
I-
reason why they would do that. No, I said it would be out before. I would say that's be out before October. So you were saying September. I think unless something majorly goes wrong, which I don't think will, I don't see Iowa being pushed that far. Especially since you said they've had this done pretty much since last year. So I don't
Most of
see
the
why they would
hard
delay that
work-
big of a team.
Most of the hard work was technically all done.
Yeah, yeah. So my guess would be, I would say early July at the latest we'll get Iowa, and then if we're even remotely lucky, maybe before Christmas we'll get Illinois, but I doubt it. I think that's going to be pushed to next year
Illinois
That's
for
what my
sure
guess
will
is.
be
because we've had 3 states this year
first
so
quarter
far.
of next year.
Because we've had 3 states this year. We had Arkansas, Missouri, and then Iowa's coming. next.
Arkansas was back in December.
So that means we only had 2 states then recently. Then
We only this would be the first. Missouri would be the first of this year.
wow.
Missouri would be the first.
So
Iowa
then
will
I-
be
well,
next.
now- then I-
Louisiana will be late.
After Illinois. That's the way. That's what I was reading a while ago. Again, I
Louisiana
don't know
will
why the
likely come around. I don't know.
2026.
No, that would be likely before Christmas.
Well, Louisiana will not come up before Illinois. Because I think Illinois is part of Route 66. It's the last state in the chain. I think Louisiana would be after Illinois. That would only make it. Well, that would make it 4 states, but then that would be 4 states a quarter, and I don't think that's going to be a thing that SCS does. I don't think they can release 1 state every or 4 states a year.
Well, they've really pushed.
I mean, maybe they.
freaking
I mean,
this-
maybe they could now because they do have smaller states they're working with now. I mean, the only one that's left that's kind of a big state would be Florida. That might
But
be
we're
the
not.
only one.
Florida's not coming up for like another 2 years, maybe.
Oh, at least, yeah, because you still have
Because
the
you
upper
still got the
Midwest to
Dakotas.
finish up.
Dakotas.
That you have Minnesota, you have Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio,
So-
Indiana. I mean, you have a lot of the upper part of the world or states. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's
Louisiana
we always
will
take a
likely
crap
be
every time we
December.
talk about this. It's always a crapshoot. Every time we talk, it's
Of
always a
course,
crapshoot.
because
Like, oh
we're-
yeah, what do we think? And we never fucking know. But I think you're more accurate when you say that there's always about 12 blog posts about it.
Usually it's
And
10 to 12.
And how many have they done for Missouri so far?
They're done. That's
Okay.
why they dropped.
So how many for Iowa? Because I've seen
they're dropping.
and I've seen
the,
a couple for Iowa.
Yeah, I think Iowa has 4.
I think there's been 3 or 4 blog posts. I think.
Yeah.
Amber, what's your opinion on this?
I don't know.
I don't drive trucks, and my game doesn't work right. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah, kinda.
We've been willing to work with you.
No, I know. Yeah, no, I don't know.
In other words, she doesn't. Fuck.
I don't have an opinion.
She's not as
don't-
hardcore of ATS that.
I'm not.
than we
Well,
are.
I mean,
I-
I'm not that
I-
hardcore either. but-
See, I just drive on ATS when I could drive on ATS. I just drive on ATS to drive on ATS, and I have fun with it, and I suck at driving, and if I crash, I don't care. I have money, and then I don't have money because I crash so much. So, like, I'm in it for the fun of it, and not necessarily the, when new states and things came out, I'd always, get them just be like, oh, where are we traveling next? But,
What we need is a 1KF trucking logistics.
That could be coming.
That should be a thing. Yeah, Mikey,
That
myself,
could be
you,
coming.
and Amber. Yeah, the four of us in that. Yeah, that'd be fun.
That'll be fun.
And actually, to make it easier for Ember, she'll drive forward, and the rest of us will drive backwards.
Well, I was gonna say, I'll put you guys, and the 3 of you are up front, and then I'll be in the back. That way.
You don't want to follow me because of my derpy internet. You would run in the back of me.
Well,
have
I mean, I'll hang way back though, because if I drive too close, I'll probably hit you anyway.
But Amber, what mile mark you
Or
at? I'm at
or
80, and we're
or
like at
or
120.
or we'll just put Dazzo in front of me, and then he'll be my blocker, so I don't hit you in my.
I've got a better idea. Take a look at my video, Dum Dums and Mirror.
Oh no.
Oh
'Cause
God.
then you can actually, if you actually have him follow you, or you follow him, you could have some shenanigan fun.
Well, yeah.
Contort his truck.
Well,
Actually, you know what you could really do? I know you don't run Leo right now, but you could learn some really good pit maneuver technique.
I don't know. I don't
Yes,
need
I'm
to.
encouraging.
I don't
I'm
need-
encouraging such
See,
shenanigans.
I don't need to pin him on.
I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that.
I just hit him from the back instead.
All right, your taillights weren't working. Your trailer lights were dark. Sorry. Oh, were you trying to get over into the lane? I'm sorry. I thought I gave you enough room, and your nose is like right at the tail end of his trailer.
It's alright.
Blind spot. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that though, because then I'll intentionally be trying to hit him.
Well, whenever I change my camera view, sometimes I'll do like a massive camera sweep, like a big, huge panner on the vehicles when I'm going next to him, and I'll accidentally hit my thumbstick, and I'll try because I try to keep everything centered right when I'm doing this, so I can get like a front shot. I just watch my truck slowly creeping into his lane. I'm like, oh crap, and I forget I've got to think in reverse because if I don't I turn right instead of going left. So when I'm in the front point of view, I turn towards his truck as opposed to away from his truck, and I end up causing shenanigans. It's quite entertaining.
Everybody needs a little shenanigans. It's fine.
Yeah, that's why I said Dum Dums and Mirror was quite fun.
And you can't. I mean, with having Emperor Rose involved in anything, Emperor Chaos is always gonna be there. So.
That's the baddest bitch. What can we say?
Yes.
Exactly.
But anyway, so I know we got a little bit in the weeds with that, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't even know when the deal. I mean, I kind of gave up trying to follow when they're gonna release shit. I just wait for it to come out and whatever.
I just play the guessing game when I can.
Yeah, I mean, there you go, GeoGuessr.
Exactly.
SCS guesser. There's your thing right there.
You know how many people tried to fucking follow that, and they always fail.
No.
Back in the day,
yeah.
Everyone is like, "Oh, yeah, this DLC is gonna drop X date." People fucking followed that shit to.
Honestly, it wasn't until like I've been playing game dropped, so that's what, nearly 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And up until I started doing, like, I think it was the original Dazzo Nation radio that we used to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when I started to kind of follow the DLC charts. But
there is a technical chart that you can technically follow. I don't remember the link now, but there was a link.
But I'm saying like I didn't mean to say chart, but I mean like I never used to really care about the progress. I'm like, it'll be out when it's out, you know.
Yep.
And you know, I mean, it is what it is. ATS is I don't know. I mean, I like playing it, and I have to be in the mood these days. Where I used to just love playing it, I have to be in.
Yeah.
Just because honestly, when you're only playing by yourself, it's boring as fuck. The game is not fun when you're playing this multiplayer. Especially when I started doing multiplayer, I was like, oh hell yeah, that's the life for me. That is the life. So.
Anything technically multiplayer is better, of course.
Yeah.
But due to SES's multiplayer system,
not so much. Especially when you can't when one mod is out of place, like you're gonna be that anal about it, really?
Yeah.
Really, you're gonna do that? So I did see something. Speaking of the gaming stuff, I did see something on GT6 again.
Yeah.
That popped up on PC. Yeah, it was something interesting about it. Give me. Oh, actually, you guys know who Billy Mitchell is? You guys ever heard of him?
Maybe.
He's the guy that I think it was like in the early 2000s, like had the world's record for Pac-Man. And then there was all this controversy where it was.
Oh
like
yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. So he just won a massive lawsuit in Australia. A guy named Carl Jobst, Jobst, is a YouTuber, is forced to pay more than $230,000. Well, he's also a Donkey Kong record holder too, apparently. For in a defamation lawsuit.
Wow.
Yeah, defamation. Oh, this is big. So, this involved some stuff back. I mean, not just with this controversy on the record breaking.
Mm-hmm.
They say Donkey Kong, but I think it was actually Pac-Man that he was calling the question about whether he actually did do it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And his name was removed from Twin Galaxies Guinness Book of World Records. But because he had a lot of litigation, they reinstated his records.
Wow.
But he also fired a lawsuit against YouTuber Benjamin Smith, also known as Apollo Legend, who recorded several videos claiming that Mitchell had cheated. And also, Jobst subtly titled "The Biggest Con Men in Video Game History Strike Again."
Wow.
Implied that Mitchell's settlement with Smith, involving the latter paying him a large sum of money, which actually led to this guy's death. Committed suicide because of not Billy Mitchell, but the other guy. He also claimed that Mitchell had expressed joy at that thought of this person. So literally, this is a big defamation lawsuit. And Barlow, who was the judge, the 2020 settlement between Mitchell and Smith never involved the exchange of money. Smith was required to remove all YouTube videos and social media postings regarding to that issue and assign copyright to those removed videos to Mitchell. And the cease publishing about Mitchell or face a $25,000 fine for each breach. So,
Damn.
according to the judge, more than 500,000 people had downloaded Jobs' offending video, including 20,000 in Australia, which matters in Australian defamation case. It's resulted in many comments accusing Mitchell of murder, among other things. Judge Barlow also brought attention to Jobs' audacity after receiving concerns notice from Mitchell's lawyers in 2021. So let me put it this way. This is the kind of bullshit that will come back and haunt you. Now, I only heard about Billy Mitchell through a documentary called, Gaming Years, which was done by a couple of podcasters and a couple of their friends that talked about video games from like the 1980s into the late 80s. They haven't touched on the 90s yet, and they only touched a little bit on the 70s because that's when most gaming started, like 77, I think. That's where I first learned about this guy. And even they questioned whether or not his thing was legit, because they kind of probably believed this whole thing about how Mitchell supposedly cheated. Now, look, I don't know enough about the backstory. I mean, did he use an emulator? I don't know. I don't care. If he won legitimately, because apparently there was a way the emulator could actually, because the emulators do not mimic arcade directly.
Right.
Arcade is a very simple design, but yet there's things in the coding that actually do things differently than emulation. Seth Bling, who is a renowned YouTuber, said that you can actually tell there's a pixel difference when you jump in Super Mario Brothers on the emulation versus the original Nintendo version. So there could be some argument about whether using an emulator is cheating to get a world record. Personally, if the guy did it, that's great. I've played Pac-Man, I've played Donkey Kong. I never was all that great with either game. This guy, he may actually have done it, and who gives a fuck? Why would anybody care? But then, being accused of things like, oh, you caused this one guy to commit suicide or whatever, you're a murderer, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, are you fucking kidding? Like, the level of dumb is absolutely hysterical. But check this out.
Over a fucking record, too.
Yeah. Over a record because you think he cheated. I mean, how the battles that we fight are pathetic. So this guy Jobs will pay in Australian currency $300,000 for damages for non-economic loss, and another $50,000 for aggravated damages, in addition to a $34,668 50% interest. Well, that's in actual Australian dollars, $34,668.50 of interest.
Wow.
He also has to pay more than $50,000 in aggravated damages. But that amount is being sought by Mitchell himself. So he posted on X, Jobs said, "I lost. The judge found Billy to be a credible witness and believed his entire testimony. From that point on, unfortunately, there was nothing really I could have done to save me. I will not consider my options. I know many of you will be upset with this, and I am sorry for that. Well, I mean, you fuck around, you find out, you got your ass handed to you by a judge in Australia. I don't know if this will actually happen in the States, so because because I think he's already been charged with this, with the settlement. So I don't think I think this would be a double jeopardy thing to hash this. So I don't think he could do it. But regardless, you just don't spread rumors like that. You just fucking don't. It's like, what would possess somebody to do this? I mean, that's what my impression of this is. Like, literally, this guy legitimately thought the the guy cheated and then committed some murder because of some settlement or just bullshit like this. Come on.
People.
I know that was not.
Things.
I know that was not. Yeah, and that was not. I know the GTA thing,
but I get it.
It was just something. Yeah. I'm trying to find that GTA article here. Sorry. So keep talking. Go ahead. I'll track it down. So go ahead and keep moving along.
Ember.
Dazzo.
What is this sharktopus that you found?
Yeah. What the hell? What is that?
So I was looking, and I was just looking for like new articles and things like that. And this one was published by New York Times on the 22nd. So it's been a little bit, but a octopus got stuck on a shark's back in remarkable footage, and it was just kind of like put out as a like reminder of like the wonders of the ocean type of thing. But the octopus had actually been on the shark's back for a length of time because it had like seaweed and other things growing around it. So it got labeled as the sharktopus because they were basically together, not together, but like together as one because the octopus had been there for a length of time and basically started almost growing together and naming it the sharktopus.
What shark is that?
It is a... hang on.
Curious.
I hear the Japanese calling to make another Godzilla type film with that as their freaking thing.
Yeah.
I would be so dude, that would be so up their alley. Sharktopus.
Sharktopus. Oh my god.
Dude, okay, honestly, can you
imagine if
that,
people
though?
actually start making a game out of that?
You know that's gonna be a meme. Somewhere
my
somebody's gonna
God.
find a picture of that, meme it,
Sharktopus.
and then it'll go viral all over the internet. I did find that article, so. Yeah, was it like a great white shark? Was it a hammerhead or a tiger shark or something
I'm
like that?
trying to find...
What ocean was this in, actually?
It was off of New Zealand.
What ocean? Oh, is that? I
Well,
forget
technically,
what
Sharktopus was actually a sci-fi freaking horror film back in 2010.
I just saw that.
I remember that because I watched it once.
Damn.
I totally forgot about that.
Poor Dazzo.
Oh god.
So, okay, so
It was a
I don't even know about this, man.
longfin mako shark.
Okay, I know what that is. I don't think
It
they're that
is
aggressive.
a short fin
Yeah.
mako shark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They-
mako shark. I don't think they're that aggressive like a great
No.
white is.
They're
or
not
or-
as aggressive, but they have still killed humans.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
predators. They're a predatory fish, but
Yeah.
still, that's
But I just thought that was like a little like weird, slice of, trying to find some information, and all of a sudden I got Sharktopus on my
well. it does remind me of the I think they're called tick birds that actually land on top of a rhinoceros.
Mhm.
Actually, kind of live on its back and like eat the ticks off its body.
Yep.
Yep. So,
That's pretty
all
cool.
right. Yeah. So here's that article regarding GTA 6. The headline is OUTs. We don't know when exactly GTA 6 is coming out because Take-Two CEO wants to maintain the anticipation. So the article basically talks about Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick saying basically they just want to keep people thirsty as to why they're not, like, they're only releasing so much information. And like that whole quote unquote drop of GTA 6, what was it, last year, whatever it was, when they supposedly it was a leak. You know damn well that was intentional.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that you can go to prison according to their rules about releasing information. What I heard. I don't know if it's true or not because I never substantiated it, but regardless, obviously that'd be incentive enough not to do it. I think that was intentional. They're obviously very quiet because they want to kind of build up the anticipation for it, obviously.
That's not a surprise, to be quite fair.
But like I mentioned last week, here's the problem with it. We all know how popular the GTA franchise has been for decades. We also know too that companies, smaller companies, will be too afraid to release a game or release anything anywhere near where this is. This is like going up against Star Wars. Like, how many assholes made mistakes in the 70s and 80s? Oh yeah, I'm going to release my movie at the same time that Star Wars, comes out, and they just get clobbered, right? And it's same like with even the Marvel stuff, like nobody dared do this. Even Indiana Jones, nobody dared do it. You have these titans like this, and I think this actually does hurt the industry when, like I said last week, I think that this can hurt an industry by not being more specifics, because that way people can work around this, kind of get their stuff out early enough or whatever.
Yeah.
We already kind of know that's 2025 for the console, and then maybe 26 for the D version. But if they keep pushing, if they push this shit back another year, I think this does more damage. Not only to the reputation of Take-Two and Rockstar, because of how anticipated this game is, but also to the smaller gaming companies who are just like, well, great, now what do we do?
So you
Do we
think?
just keep releasing on our schedules, or what do we do?
So you think
What do you
that they're going to wait another year before they actually drop it?
That's a hard call, because it's a double-edged sword for Take-Two.
Of course.
Because if they push it out too far, while they still have their cash cow that is GTA 5, I think because fans are so rabid, they will turn into wolves.
Do you think they're going to do the exact same thing, like how they immediately turned down or turned off Red Dead Redemption 2?
No, the only reason why I said it is because that was two different worlds, and like you said before, a while back, because they saw Red Dead becoming more popular than GTA 5, they weren't having it. Because this is not a competing game, this is a kind of a follow-up to the original GTA 4. Basically it's just a revamp of that. I don't think they would self-sabotage like that. If anything, I think they would probably try to kill off GTA 5 to really promote 6. I think that would be more realistic than pulling a Red Dead Redemption fuck it all up. I don't think they would do that. I think people, this is something I dealt with as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
When I would read about a game or a record from a band I wanted, there was a point you had to wait.
Yeah.
The release. That was normal. But because we are in such a I want it now mentality, and we've been like this for, I would say, 20 years, instant gratification, really that's driven by the internet. In my view, I think it would be foolish for them to push this further back unless there's something wildly wrong with the code and it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Which I think is unlikely given their history with GTA.
But never say never.
That's where I'm torn. I think I'm going to sit on the fence and say wait and see.
Okay.
Personally, I don't care about GTA 6. Just given the direction that Rockstar has gone since the initial release of GTA 5 and going full woke in a lot of areas, I'm just not give a shit about it. I had my fun with GTA 5. I had my fun a little bit with the Vice City version years before that on PlayStation 2. On that, I could not. I guess mainly because I got so tainted with Rockstar shenanigans, whoring out their online shit, and then going after modders, and then kind of backing off and buying up the 5M community, which they may shut down, and obviously they've already tried to do that before. They were stopped from doing that. But like I said, I think that's what's going to be the killer. I will tell you one thing: if Rockstar does kill the modding community, which they very much could, I would think that GTA 6 will fail. Unless you're like the most hardcore fan and don't care about modding, that's fine. But generally speaking, most people will mod the game. If they close that out for 6, they make absolutely have every intention of preventing you from ever deep diving into the file system. I think that game dies on its own.
I 100% agree with you.
Because how many millions of people across the globe played LSPDFR or on some 5M server somewhere in the world? It's not a small community.
It's a big community.
It is. Now, I was only a very small portion of that for a little bit, for 2 seconds. Still.
Couple of millions play PC.
At least,
worldwide.
Yeah. I don't obviously it's nowhere near as. I don't think it's obviously as big as the multiplayer Minecraft world because that's fucking massive. There's another game that's actually close to eclipsing that though.
But Minecraft is a Minecraft. It's on a league of its own.
Minecraft is Minecraft, and it's been a standalone for a decade. Like what? How long is it? 2011, I think, is when it came out. So it's got history. I mean, it was one of the most creative ideas out there.
Yep.
So, in fact, the guy who, Kurt J. Mack, has been doing his Farlands or Bust series since 2011. He is now only 2 million blocks away from the Farlands.
There you go.
A little bit over 2 million. And my brother was telling me about this. Yeah, because once in a while he'll catch up on Kurt J. Mack's series. And yeah, I mean, and think of how many changes he's gone through with that game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only vanilla, too. He does not play with mods on this particular. So yeah, when you have things like that kind of a community that follows that level, where I'm going with it is communities make games successful.
Yep.
Yes, people have a problem with intellectual property rights being harvested to create mods. GTA or Rockstar's Take-Two purchasing 5M. I mean, a lot of people don't think it's going to be harmful, but in terms of people like Fabiano who doesn't think it's going to make a difference. We've seen in the past like Microsoft just ruining and shutting down gaming. And I talked about this last week where they were forcing the Korean tribes or the Korean people into first DLC that came out for Age of Empires 2, the Conqueror's expansion. not realizing that the Koreans were never conquered.
Yeah.
Their motif. They were a very of a peaceful, like just we will do our own thing, live our existence. We're not battle types, we're not the warrior type. It was just their mantra, and so I'm so torn about this, but frankly, part of me just doesn't care.
Right.
GTA 6 fails, it fails. If it fails, it fails. It's like
Who
if
cares?
he dies. I don't care. I mean, look, I know you and Ember will probably play it. I get it. Because it's just like you just play it just because you want to see what they did.
Well,
Just the curiosity factor. I think that would be more why you guys would play it versus like hardcore like you are with GTA 5.
I will play it, but I'm waiting until it comes out on PC, which will be another year and a half or whatnot. I know people have bought PlayStations recently just so they can play GTA 6.
Yeah.
And what that reminds me of, Ember, back in the 80s, that was the one reason why Atari failed. Because when they made some of these games, like E.T., it thought people are going to go out and buy these consoles just for the sake of playing these games. And there was a massive return rate, which killed the industry. The gaming industry has collapsed, I think, 2 or 3 times in its history. That was one of the worst ones in '83 because of that kind of like people are going to go buy consoles just to play this game. That's a dumb thing to say because they did that with Until Dawn because that was a PlayStation exclusive. People had to go out and buy the game or buy the console just to get the game, and they like this sucks because it didn't have very many good games anyway. And what is it, the PlayStation 6 or is it the 5 that they're going to buy? Which one? Or no, which version are they buying right now? Which console?
The 5.
It's 5 and it's also the Xbox. So I don't know. I think that's the problem. I mean, is the computer gaming world bigger than the console world? I don't know, to be honest.
But it's growing.
I haven't been a console player in over 20 years.
I haven't been a console player since I got my PC.
Yeah, that was me. Like when I got my first PC, I was already gaming on it, but I was still a console player because I still had a couple consoles. And it took me a while to convince my fiance for gaming on her computer because she was strictly console.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you are missing so much by not gaming on PC. Now she's like, okay, I get why you said this. I'm like, yeah, it's the different experience altogether. So, like I said, I don't really care one way or another because I have really no stake or interest in this. Like I said, Rockstar Take-Two, once they went woke with all their bullshit, like it started with me when they removed the Confederate flag because some asshole whined about it. That really bothered. I'm like, really? So you're gonna go jump down that rabbit hole? You guys are supposed to be anti that. You're supposed to be like the fuck you gaming company. So when they became part of the problem, I just don't care. So with that being said, GTA 6, I can leave it. I don't care.
Yeah.
But that's just one man's opinion.
Yeah.
One man's opinion.
Yeah.
I guess we want to move along from gaming. I don't know if you guys read this or not, but I did. Remember our beloved blue screen of death?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
When your computer just decides to tank.
Uh-huh.
It's now they're going to a black screen with white text, so I'm calling that the Black Death. Because well, think about this. Okay, so the whole point of the blue screen was because blue is a calming color. That was their theory. It was a psychological thing. But black is associated with funerals and death.
Cool.
Your computer crashes and now you only see a black screen. I think that's a little worse than a blue screen of death. I really do. you may as well just post a picture of a middle finger, like Bill Gates flipping people off or whatever. You know, so I actually thought that was really funny reading that. I'm like, they're getting rid of it. They're getting rid of it now. Apparently, some of the insiders get the green screen of death, but I seem to remember that was a thing they were talking about in Windows 8, but they were going to bring that in. I'm like, why? You know, and they're getting rid of the QR code so you can't tell what fucking went wrong. And if you don't know if it's a really bad error on your computer, it will be in the infinite loop restarting, because there's a tick box that's always checked to always restart the computer on a failure.
Mhm.
Unless you know how to get to that to turn that off, so it doesn't do it, so you can actually reload and troubleshoot, your SOL. So, and they're getting rid of all that stuff. So, like, the QR code showed you, like, basically, okay, take a picture with your phone. Here's where the troubleshooting is. Here's how you fix it. They're getting rid of that. So they're going to make a technician's life a lot harder too. You know, I mean, maybe some of the more like deep divers out there can probably figure it out because it is Windows. I mean, how much can really go wrong that we don't already know about because it is Windows? I just find that hilarious that they're like, really, that's your focus. Not building a better operating system, because Windows 11 is dog shit, and I refuse to go to it. Which, by the way, brings me to my other point. I have in my sandbox already installed Linux Mint. So I haven't done a lot of test driving with it yet. It's in my virtual box right now, but I probably will be going to Linux. Fucking done with Microsoft. So this is not a killer for me. The blue screen is not a killer for me because I'm a technician, so I kind of know how to fix shit. But it's just dumb. It's like people just do not understand the things they get themselves into. Really? Oh. Anyway. What are your thoughts? I know you probably don't care, but hey.
I don't care. It's tech.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah. However, another thing I found was this really cool company called 8-Bit Do, and I think I've heard of them before. They make a lot of retro, take old retro stuff and modernize it. And they actually did something like this with this keyboard. It's a full 104 key keyboard that is themed like an NES controller, like the original NES controller. So the grays, the blacks, and the reds are there. And there's apparently 2 giant buttons that imitate the A and B buttons. You can program
Nice.
as like triggers for like an application or whatever.
Nice.
I thought that was really cool. I wish I had a picture, but you can look it up. Look up 8-Bit Do and look up retro NES keyboard. You can see what it looks like, and it's absolutely cool. And it's cheap. It's actually like $79, and it's a full hotkey swappable unit, which means if a key goes bad, you can hot swap it or basically pull it out, replace it, and put a new one in without having to power it down. I think right now, there's an Amazon spring sale going on. I think it was listed at like $79, and that's for a mechanical keyboard, no less. Now I don't know how good it is because I don't own one. But,
mechanical keyboards are pretty good.
I grew up on mechanical keyboards. I mean, the click, 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 click was always awesome. I don't know why, but yes, it really would suck for live podcasting, you know.
Yeah.
But then I also don't like chiclet keyboards either. I hate those. I hate chiclet keyboards. But yeah, I thought that was a really cool idea. Now, look, I'm an old school gamer, so anything that's like going to take me back to my childhood is pretty cool. A theme like that is pretty cool. Would I buy one? Maybe if I had like some disposable income, which I never will. Probably not. I did end up buying like the classic Nintendo, the one that actually HD, like games on it, or whatever it is. I did that a few years ago, but I don't even play it, so. But yeah, I was really surprised by it. I thought it was a really cool idea. They did one, I think, for a Commodore 64 computer system, where they kind of reproduced it with like its original color scheme. But that was more expensive. So this one being cheaper, maybe more popular. And the fact that it's a mechanical keyboard is pretty cool. Now I don't know if they're using the they're called like they're Cherry branded these. I don't know because there's some really good ones out there, or if they're a little bit cheaper. I don't know, but I think that's pretty cool. So I don't know if you guys are looking at the picture or not, but I can probably try to sit in the Discord. The
Noise.
yeah.
Oh, in case anybody wasn't paying attention, I got myself the Libre 2.
For those that don't know, Libre 2 is a diabetic testing.
Yep. It was prescribed to that like last week. And yeah, it's been pretty cool. But unfortunately, the new medication that my doctor prescribed, I had to fucking pay out of pocket for those fucking needles.
Yeah. I'm gonna post this in the show prep, so don't mind me. I can see it.
So my doctor prescribed Tresiba last Thursday.
Yeah.
And that doesn't come with fucking needles.
Nope. Although Libre does have like that, I think you still have to wear like the little deal on your arm though. Right?
I have that.
The little yeah. That's my dad has that too. And you scan that if you're it's like you'll probably have like a little alarm thing or whatever that'll go off. It's like
I got it on my phone.
Yep. Yeah. My dad's got the 3. My dad's got the 3, but the whatever reason the damn app does not work on his phone. But he can't even use that because he has been known to lose his meter. Oh. So, and that sucks because then he has to call the company to actually get a new one issued. And I don't know. I think we just need to start finding a cure for fucking diabetes and fuck this bullshit political shit and just start fixing shit.
So let me ask you this:
yes,
your dad got diabetes, right? Is it through genetics?
When he was 30. No, he was 38 when he got it.
So it's not through genetics.
I don't know, to be honest. A lot of it was bad eating habits.
Right.
I think. His dad died of pancreatic cancer. He was 4 years old.
Oh.
My dad was 4 years old, so he was here. So most likely that was diabetes that took, because pancreas is typically your mechanism to process sugar. And if it doesn't function right, you can die. You can't live without a pancreas. You just can't. So he might have. I don't know if testing existed back then. So that would have been 1956 when he died. So I don't know how much was known about diabetes at that point back in the 50s. I have no clue.
Right.
But I can say that he does have family that does have it. My mom got it through gestation, but then it stuck around. It went away and then stuck around for her. And then I ended up getting it, but I got it basically because I just didn't give a fuck about my life. Because after my mom died, I was psychologically so wrecked. I did not fucking care about my health, which I've talked about before.
Yep.
And I regret that because now I'm paying that really severe price for that neglect.
Right.
So I think Dad might have had some genetics.
Yeah.
But
genetics will likely.
I think it was just bad eating habits. My dad was a pretty heavyset guy. In the 80s, like he was really skinny when he got married, but like most people were pre-fucking all this bullshit with food. Oh yeah, that's why you can correlate this. You can go back to the 70s and see how fucking skinny people were, and then you look at the 80s, like everybody ballooned up. Jeez, what changed? Preservatives in food and all the chemicals in food. That's what fucking changed. Fuck, why that ever happened? Anyway, yeah, let's chlorinate our fucking chicken. Let's just wash our chicken in bleach. That's healthy. Fuck you. I get so angry. Dude, I get so angry about stupid shit like this.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that's what have happened. I mean, it's just bad lifestyle change, like bad lifestyle. Even though he was a hard worker, he worked all the fucking time. Like he worked into his retirement. And he did a lot of walk because he he was a building engineer, which meant he worked in like commercial industrial grade, like HVAC system,
Okay.
all that stuff, like all the bowels of a building to make it run. And because one of the buildings he worked at was a medical building that tied into the hospital next door or across the street, there was a lot more he had to do too, because hospitals need to have certain types of they always have to have like hot water, they always have to have all this stuff, like there's special treatments that you have to do for hospitals.
Yep.
So he would have to do all this stuff, and once in a while I actually got to help him. Like there were Saturday mornings I would go into work with him, like help him out with this stuff. But yeah, it wasn't until he was like 38 when he actually got diabetes. And I got it when I was in my early 40s. So I was diagnosed officially when I was in 2017. So it sucks. I'll be honest. So when he talked about the Libre 3, I'm like, we just fucking suck as a world, that we just cannot fix this. I swear to God, there are cures for shit that can be easily fixed, but there's fucking assholes out there that prevent this from happening. It's like a line in this movie. It's I think it was The World's Greatest Athlete, which is like an old Disney film from the 70s. And it was like the one character was like this witch doctor. He's like, yeah, I found a cure for the common cold, but the medical industry paid me a bunch of money to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. We are not in healthcare. We are in barely keep you alive. We're in basically what is it? Not healthcare. It's nearly death care as far as I'm concerned. Like we keep people alive barely, just so they can function barely. That's pretty much what I'm very. I mean, look, Amber, I know you work in the industry. I'm very cynical of it, just because of what they did, what happened to my mom, and how she died.
I mean, so. I'm right there with you with certain things and certain, certain.
Because I don't want to. I mean, I'm not trying to offend. I just get very worked up about the medical industry.
Yeah.
So because I despise it with every ounce of my being.
I mean, I say it sometimes where it's like, certain things that we have to jump through hoops for when you're when you're bedside nursing versus in corporate and everything, and
Yeah, and I cannot imagine how hard that would be. Like just like you said, jump through hoops, and you got to do this. You got to do yourself a favor. Research. Rockefeller and Carnegie, the Medical Association. Research that. That will put a lot into like, holy fuck, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The reason why is why it was created. Why was the American Medical Association created? Because those two men hated holistics. We've been treating people for generations, for centuries, and these people hated it. They wanted to standardize everything and make money off it. So yeah, read about that. It's really fascinating. It's really fascinating.
Yeah.
So I did not mean to interrupt you. I apologize, Amber. I just, like I said, man, my stress must be through the roof right now. If I took my blood pressure, it'd be like 300 over like 200. A walking corpse. I'm a walking corpse.
If it was 300 or 200, you wouldn't be alive.
Yeah.
My mom actually had a blood pressure that was over 300.
Damn.
Oh,
I don't know what the diastolic. The systolic was 300. I don't know what the diastolic was, but it was extremely high.
Damn.
Oh.
But I blame a lot of that on the drugs they gave her, because she was on a lot of fucked up stuff like carsopropidol, nasty drug. Yeah, she was on a lot of shit, which I think contributed to her death. But anyway, so I don't know where we were going with this conversation, but anyway, anything medical just pisses me off.
Yeah, I knew it was a hot topic.
Yeah, you intentionally do this to me. You must like be the sadist. You know what this is? This is payback for fucking dum-dums and mirror. That's payback. That would be his modus operandi.
No,
I kid you not. But I did notice something, because this one's gonna fire me up too, because this was an Ember topic here. Yeah, the Harvard story. So before I rant, I want Ember to talk about this and then get her points of view on this because I got things to say about this. But go ahead, Ember. I will give you the floor.
Oh, you're good. So I was researching and I found they've been talking about it for months and months and months. But now as of March 17th, they have officially come out that Harvard University is expanding its financial aid program to make attendance entirely free for students whose families earn less than $100,000.
Was it 100,000 or 200,000? Because I'm seeing that in the notes it was 200,000.
So I wrote it kind of incorrectly, but correctly all at the same time.
Okay.
So whose families earn less than $100,000 and to waive the cost of tuition for those below the $2,000 threshold. The move comes in the wake of last year's Supreme Court ruling that banned race from being a consideration in the admissions process. So, I mean, I think it's great. I think it's great that they're trying to get more people into college, especially, Harvard. And they've done some different why this is happening, because Harvard is one of the most expensive, but there's pros and cons to this, because, okay, great. Pro is that they're getting people in the door, they're making people want to go to college, and, but how many people are going to say, well, I'm just going to go because it's Harvard, and they're going to get me in for free. But also, with the prices of everything, I think more and more people are going to fall into this, threshold of what's what I want to say, being within that range of financial help, that more and more people are going to try to use this, which again is a good thing, but I mean,
The question I find with this is how many of these eventually will graduate but still work at a fucking minimum wage job?
yeah, that is.
Harvard was never started to be like this massive profit institution. Our founding father Jefferson, I believe, was the part of this back in his lifetime, and they were very prestige back then. You could go to Harvard, you were very time honored. And when they started removing things like the Bible, and they started charging an overabundance amount of money for the privilege of going to Harvard. And I mean, Harvard Medical used to be one of the best in the world. The same with Yale. These are not the same schools that were once institutions. These aren't the Ivy Leagues of old. I think what my problem is that we don't educate, we indoctrinate. We don't give people the tools to work in society. We give people tools to bow down to the government. They get government handouts. People go in for degrees that have no place in society. Gender studies has no fucking place in the society because who's hiring for that? But they sell it like it's a ketchup popsicle to somebody wearing white gloves. Oh, look, I got my degree in gender studies at Harvard. I am such a good person. I am so great. I can do so much. I don't know if I can't. No, seriously, that is legitimately what they're doing. That's every college is doing this.
Of course.
I don't think, my opinion, As far as I'm concerned, Harvard gets federal funding. Frankly, they should be stripped of it. A lot of long-time donors to these institutions back their money. And we're talking millions of dollars. It's not enough to really hurt them right now because they do have a lot of quote-unquote petty cash. However, I think what we're finding out more and more in society is college is not what the intention was. I was sold that bullshit 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, when I went to my first, when I was starting to go to college. One, folks, I'm a high school dropout. I dropped out at least 4 times in high school, and I did get my GED, which is a hell of a lot harder than graduating from high school.
Yep.
And I was sold, go to college. That'll get you through life. That'll help you so much. You'll get better income. You won't have to work, McDonald's, and you won't have to do these menial tasks in factories and whatever. So, and I begrudgingly went to college. I originally went to a community college to study acting because I was really into theater and I was really into stage performance. And I thought maybe that'd be a good career because I love to perform. I am a ham. I'm a whore for the lights. I'm a whore for the stage. But it never panned out. And then then my mom kind of said, you do like working on computers. You do like to work on stuff. Why don't you go to school for that? Like, not really an interest of mine. I just do this because it's like playing with Lego. I like to do things. I like to build. But I didn't have like a desire, but I did it just, really to shut people up about this because I was never a good person at work anyway because I just quit my regardless. I have a very poor track record of work. And basically because it was not my dream of being a musician professionally, anything else was beneath me. I was like, fuck you, I don't care. But just to try to get my life back in order, I was in my 20s. Okay, I need to start facing reality here. I've got to make some money to help further my career. So I went to college, and I discovered, I went to a private school, by the way, because I like smaller classes. It's the only reason why I did not go to university or a state college, because I just wanted a smaller class. I do not do well in big, huge classes. I'm absolutely unable to function right. So smaller classes were much better for me. But it came at a cost. My tuition. I wasn't smart enough to just rent my books because we did quarters, so I trimesters, so 12 weeks essentially before they went down to 11 weeks. I got like an extra week off for school or for break. I was always buying my books. I never just rented them from the school. Big mistake, which I still have these books, which mean nothing anymore.
I sold mine for money after college.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, Ember. I didn't even think about that. And I accumulated $20,000 in debt. But because the jobs I had were contract jobs, and if you work in IT, you know what contract jobs are. They're temporary jobs. You work a day here at one place. You work maybe a week at this place, maybe a couple weeks here, maybe a year here. And then 9 times out of 10, the company never hires you permanently because the contract that you're under is too expensive to buy. So you're passed on, which creates in an unstable financial environment. Yep. I'm terrible with money, so my debt doubled. To I think it was like $43,000. Because I never paid my bills. I could have been smart because I was working, but I just chose not to. Because I was of the type, like, maybe I'll just, educate all the time. Like, just fucking always go to school and never have to worry about my debt. Yeah, then I burned out. I did IT and got my degree, and then I was going to go into business school to get a 4-year degree in business administration. Now, I burned out. I just mentally burned out. Accumulated all this debt, which wrecked my credit, wrecked my life. I learned nothing. And I've actually, to be honest, like I've said this before, I have learned more from YouTube videos that I never learned in college. Now, granted, my college days were 2003 to 2005. We're in a different era now. But I'm nearly 50. My career path was a mistake. If I had been smart, I would have gone into one of the trades, like plumbing, electrical, welding, whatever, because those are always needed. Everybody needs electricity. Everybody needs plumbing. Everybody needs roads built. Everybody needs bridges built. Those are the jobs that I should have gone into, but I chose not to because I'm a lazy motherfucker. And I started talking to my dad about this today, and I've done this many times with my dad. I'm like, I regret so much going into college for this. So going back to the Harvard thing, I think people should spend less time worrying about college and focus more on a job that will sustain you. Something, and I know that's really hard to say in this, especially in this world that we live in now, where most everything went overseas, thanks to bad policies and bad politics, and it is what it is. And yes, it's going to take a long time for it to ever. I told my dad to really unfuck this, it's going to take at least 3 or 4 generations. I'll be dead by then, because a generation's about 25 years. 4 generations, 100 years. That's how much damage we have to unfuck. I really believe the public school system, as well as college, state level colleges that are funded by the federal government, needs to be just obliterated. We need to go back to how we used to educate. As some people argue, well, what about lawyers? Well, what do lawyers do except fucking cause conflict and be problematic? What about medical? Well, the medical industry is part of the problem. They won't find cures. They won't. They won't cure things if they know they can. They're very smart people, and they don't want to fucking do it because they make a killing watching people die. Not everybody's like that. But there are a lot in the upper echelons that do.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, yeah, and people say, what about socialized medicine? Do you know how fucked up that would be? If you think it's bad now, just wait till you have that. Just wait till that fucks your life up. Obamacare did more damage to our medical system than anybody ever thought. And they will not unfuck it. They will not unfuck themselves. College was once maybe a good institution to better yourselves. Not anymore. I would say let the whole fucking system collapse. I don't care. You spend your money wisely, or you piss it away on something that will never become a thing. Be realistic. That's all I say. I understand some people say, well, what about this? What about that? It doesn't matter. We're beyond colleges being redeemable as far as I'm concerned. You would literally have to rebuild it from the ground up. Go back to the original principles that we once had. They got rid of Latin in Harvard. I don't know when this happened, but it's happened in modern times. They got rid of speaking in Latin. Why? Who would be offended about speaking a language that's actually really amazing? And oh, by the way, Spanish is based on Latin. Huh. Good fucking job.
It's funny, sorry to cut you off. Latin got slashed out of my high school. When I was about to take it, and then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we're not teaching this anymore. And then the only options were Spanish and French.
And most times people don't even take that. I mean, Spanish is probably more popular to take than French. The only thing I cared about French class was learning how to properly kiss, but yeah, it's a different story. Anyway, moving on. But no, I think, yeah, like, where did you learn how to kiss? French class. Name that where that comes from. Name that movie. But yeah, I honestly, I just despise college, and based on my own experience too. It taught me nothing. Our school had a big turnaround. Like, we had a big turnaround for teachers. We probably had as much as Amazon loses employees, 40%. You kidding me? Really? So yeah, look. If people like college, fine, whatever. You do you. Frankly, I could care less if it collapses. Take the public schools with you too, because we've already seen how we have 2 generations that can't read, write, spell, fucking do math. Like, that's pathetic. All we have are little lemmings that will just do what big government says to do because that's what they intended to do. So I have no sympathy for education. I don't care about these parents that, well, I can't teach my kid. Well, fucking learn how to do it then. Get off your dead asses and fucking try, because guess what? We did it for millennia. You're nothing special. Just learn how to fucking do a thing. Teach yourself something, because you'll benefit society a lot more if you're not dead weight. So, anyway, I knew this topic was going to piss me off. God, I'm an angry guy. I'm pounding that cloud right now.
Oh, Skittles.
Yeah, I know. People love to tune in to listen to me rant.
Hey, it's cool.
But anyway. Yeah. But, I don't know what your thought is on college, Dazzo.
I just
what do you think about this thing about what Harvard is doing?
I just feel like it's a waste of time, period. So even if the tuition was not waived, per se, right? How many students coming out of Harvard, Yale, or any of the giant ones out there come out and actually do work a workable actual wage or a workable salary?
Which is impossible nowadays.
Yeah.
What is the chances of 80% of every student graduating every year working at Amazon, McDonald's, doing minimum wage shit?
And the sad thing about that, speaking of McDonald's, like California is forcing $20 minimum wage.
So I spend
companies
fucking...
are shutting down.
Yeah.
They're shutting down companies.
Mm-hmm.
So, what my point to that was that because these kids that are coming out of these institutions are not getting the jobs to help pay out their tuition, they're demanding those grunt level jobs be that livable wage. That was never the intent. In fact, a minimum wage, fuck it. Most companies will pay you more than minimum wage these days. It was never a good idea to get the federal government involved. I really don't know why it ever happened. I think it started back in the 60s or 70s. But it's part of the whole welfare system.
Yep.
Fuck you, Latin blowjob president. Anyway, LBJ. I didn't mean to interrupt again, but
you're good.
But I wanted to make that point though about the whole thing that they expect to have their college loans paid off at working at McDonald's.
Which is never gonna happen. Especially
why do you think McDonald's is going to kiosks?
Yeah.
They're getting rid of their base, so they're getting rid of their short order cooks. I mean, next thing you know, it's gonna be Rosie the robot working back there.
Yeah.
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 You went to college? No, you never went to college.
I never went to college. I went straight from.
And you're better, and I bet you were better for it too.
Yes. Although, even then, working $18 an hour. Not gonna say it's great, but I do get some benefits.
Yeah.
Of course. But
the thing is though, you don't have a shit ton of bills on your back. Like you don't have a house of your own.
No, but
no marriage, no kids. So I mean, you don't have that on your shoulders right now.
But I do pay everything out of fucking pocket. Groceries, there are groceries out of fucking bills. They're all on my tab.
Yeah. But that's
but technically I
basic
spent
stuff.
about almost 1,600 a
a
month.
month. The hell do you buy?
Groceries.
I mean, are you buying like the
games.
Golden Goose?
I wish.
You know what it is, Ember? He bought himself. He bought himself.
No.
No, he bought himself a fucking Ferrari. Is what he did.
Oh wait.
No, what he needs to stop fucking doing is buying all my YouTube memberships, and then he'd have another. Then he'd only be spending like 1,000 every month, but instead he's spending like 600. This man, I kid you not. So
I know
last
he
month,
did that with Jeffrey. He did that with Jeffrey Gamer too.
So I kid you not. Well, yeah, but anyway. So like I kid you not. I'm very transparent. I mean, obviously, like other people like have helped and whatnot. But last month I made almost $450 from YouTube. I guarantee you half of that is from Dazzo, if not over half. So
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Now, granted, now technically it's Canadian money, so is it really valuable?
So well, but I'm just saying, like, Jesus Christ, man, like.
I know the generosity is real. I mean,
I
can't monetize my channel because
I love him
never
for
could.
it. I absolutely love him for it, amongst other things. But still your role.
Yeah. But like I said, he's got the ability to have expendable cash. I don't.
Well,
I don't.
I just choose to.
Well, fair enough. I mean, that is a choice. Yes, you do make the choice, and I'm sure it's not going to stop as much as Ember wants it to. I don't think he's going to stop. So you may as well just stop flogging that dead horse because it ain't coming. It ain't going to do you any good. You can't leave that dead horse to water.
It's alright. One of these days, my money's going to become his, so it's fine.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, but the thing is, how much is YouTube taking though? Because they take at least 30%.
That's
Yeah.
depending.
Unless
on
you're not
what-
going through. Well, unless you don't
No.
go through the
I'm not-
super chats.
I'm not counting what YouTube takes. I'm just counting like what I'm actually
yeah.
getting like in my
Do you do
So-
stream elements at all, or do you do directly YouTube super chats?
I just remember emblems.
Stream elements.
Oh, stream
yes,
elements.
I do.
Okay, elements. Stream ambulance. That's what it should be called. Stream ambulance.
There's also Stream Labs, but Stream Labs
Yeah.
doesn't do its
Yeah.
justice. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Yeah. Just
I
put
don't
money
mind-
into my bank account and that's it. I don't want any middlemen. Yeah, that's really secure, by the way. Don't do that.
Oh,
And the shit's already
man.
being sold to China anyway, so what does it matter?
Stream.
But yeah,
elements.
I mean, no, but I mean, you don't own a house for one thing, so that's like, $1,000 right there you're not paying. You don't have children, so you're not paying for diapers and formula and stuff like
yeah.
that and crib stuff. Granted you have your niece, but that's your sister's kid. But yet
She's-
you do.
She's spoiled. Period.
Well, Uncle Dazz, hello. Uncle Dazz will do said thing because Uncle Dazz is Uncle Dazz. I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah. She's spoiled.
But I will say one thing but then that also could turn her into I don't know, because spoiling a kid at a young age can make them not great people in life later on. Gotta set boundaries.
Of course, there's
Hard to do that, though.
boundaries.
It's always hard to, though, when they look at you like, I want things. And you're like, okay. It's like talking to your wife or your bride or whatever, and you're like, yes, dear. Just yes, dear.
Just say yes.
Understand, dear.
whatever.
Just yes, dear. Yeah, there was like a 90s TV show called Yes, Dear, and I used to watch it. I'm like, okay, I get why this is a thing.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
But anyway, so yeah, that's I mean, I understand it because I'm like, I don't know how I would ever deal with like donations. I think I would be very like, humbled by it, but also like I am not worthy. You know, there are more important things to spend your money on than me. Okay, that's why you never see me like asking for money, because I am not that person. And if people do give me money, I'm very grateful. Although I tend to, save it more than I used to, but sometimes I will spend it. But I can't right now with no actual income. But that could be changing soon. Anyway, so yeah. You had brought something up, Dazzo, that put something in my head. Now I can't remember. So. Yeah, it's mentioned something that for whatever reason, I thought this would be kind of good to go into, but now I've completely forgot it. So
your rants took too much energy out of you.
No, my brain is just like that. My brain is just literally like, go, 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 go.
Stop.
Like if you ever saw my EEG, it'd be like this and just flatline. So, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty much flatlined anyway. But so.
Derp.
Oh, I guess the only other story I heard was about the last week. There was a Delta airline that damn near clobbered a fighter jet in DC again.
Not surprised.
Another fucking near miss. Because fucking nobody wants to shut the FAA down and fucking start figuring out what the hell's going on. Ground all flights until we can get the fucking bullshit fixed. Nope, can't do that. So, yep.
Not surprised.
I did find out something really funny though. I think our new fighter jets that are going to be built are going to be built by the one company I cannot believe they're fucking using. Boeing.
Yeah.
Boeing is going to build our new fighter jets. So how many parts are now going to fall off these fucking planes? I wonder. How many pilots are going to have the canopy pop on them and they're going to get ejected? And then, oh, by the way, their parachutes are going to be fucking a bunch of Wile E. Coyote filled pots and pans and whatever else in there,
All right.
I think it was Lockheed Martin was the one that used to build a lot of our military stuff, and now Boeing is going to get involved in that. And so, yeah, great. So, yay.
Did anybody hear about that 7.7 earthquake in Thailand?
In Thailand, yeah, I did. And the thing actually toppled over skyscrapers too, which was incredible. Holy shit!
If anybody saw the footage on YouTube and Google and everything, insane. The skyscraper coming down that bad. Oof.
Yeah. Insane. And at the time I saw the next day after I saw it was like a few days ago. It said something like already 1,600 confirmed dead.
Yep.
I guarantee there's body parts everywhere. There's no way it's less than 3,000 people.
Yeah, minimum 3,000 people will be.
Yeah. I mean, you don't walk away from a steel building crushing you. You just don't.
No. I mean, I saw some video footage of a hospital actually in that area, and everything just crumbles.
Yep.
Like, thank God there was nobody in that specific room, but how many people, how many
were in that building when it happened? I mean, where do you even go? Like, where do you even do? You just can't. 7.7 is, and then I think there was after a really bad aftershock that was in the 6s.
Yeah.
That happened not long after that. It was maybe a few minutes.
And I think there was a tsunami over there too, wasn't there?
Yeah. From all the...
If there was, I didn't hear that part of it, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, because Thailand isn't that an island?
Yep.
Or are they a peninsula?
Let me see.
I actually do not know. I know that Japan is an island, but I don't know if Thailand is an island or a peninsula. And yes, non-educated, there is a difference.
It's located on the Indo-Chinese Peninsula.
Yep.
Okay. Well, they're not technically an island because they're not surrounded four sides by water.
Right. Yes.
They are attached to a landmass.
Correct.
Yeah. So if there was,
Yeah, so there
unlike China, well, unlike Japan, when they got nailed after that earthquake, like sometime in like the 2010. I can't remember. It was like that really nasty one that like took out their nuclear power plant. And it just like the entire island was practically underwater. It looked like.
Mm-hmm.
But they're an island though. Like Japan is an island, and so you have the storm, the wave coming through, and then it just goes on the other side. Whereas, so you have really no inertial stoppage or whatever. But still, a lot of Japan is mountainous. I don't know the topology of Thailand. I don't know if it's mountainous or if it's very like consolidated cities. Like I don't know how the layout is, but you know, it's just messed up. But I will say it's how I look at it. It's a warning.
Yeah.
It's a fucking warning for the world to wake up. This is. I mean,
and you know
like,
what?
I'm a biblical person. From a biblical standpoint, this is fucking revelation. This is revelation. This is your wake up call. That's just what it is. Anyway, I'm sorry, Dazzle. What was that?
So back in 2004, the biggest earthquake to ever hit near that coast was a 9.2 to 9.3.
How populated was that? Where that hit?
That was in Indonesia.
Was that central, like where like the major city population is, or was it?
If I remember correctly, yes.
Which one? Which one? Like in the actual like heart of the city, or like out on the outskirts?
So that big earthquake that happened in 2004 affected 14 countries in the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the funny thing is, what happened a year later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The disaster killed about 5,400 people in Thailand.
And I don't think Thailand at the time had an early warning system either.
I don't think.
Well, maybe they did. I don't know. I don't know if they had any. I mean, where would you even go? Like, you're already inland. Like, where do you even go when something like nowhere to go?
I mean, and then the tsunami effect after that. Oof, fuck.
Yep.
You are effed.
Yeah.
But that was back in
2004. I mean, I remember when they were talking about how if Yellowstone, because that is a volcano area, if that ever erupted, like the disaster that would be for this continent as well as much of the world. I mean, they call it this, I think it's like the super volcano.
Yeah.
Is what they've always kind of pegged it as. It's because Yellowstone is like on a volcano.
Yep.
If that ever became like, just got angry at the world, that would like, I mean, the skies would be, they said it would like be like the winter would like never end. It would be like a decade of winter.
Yeah.
Because there'd be like no light from all the ash. How many people would die of starvation? I mean, they would be catastrophic. Because it wouldn't just be our country, because then you've got the prevailing wind.
Yep.
And
the jet stream and all that.
The jet stream would carry it overseas. And it would be big enough, like half this, like I bet half our country would be underwater. Like it would probably split our continent.
Yeah.
I would think that would even take out part of Canada, because Yellowstone goes into part of Canada on the south end.
Yep.
It's it's a big of a piece of real estate, but yeah. Now, granted, I don't think it was like, I don't know, but I mean, judging by everything else, I mean, you never know. You have the Ring of Fire that gets very active too. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
so So the one you're talking about, it's 30 miles wide, 70 or 45 miles long.
What was?
The Yellowstone volcano.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's I think that would be like the biggest in the world. I think that is the biggest. I think that's even bigger than
Mm-hmm.
the one in Hilo. Why? Hilo's a huge volcano, but I think this one kind of eclipses it. Oh yeah, and I think because of Old Faithful, which is our major geyser, that tells us it's still active
Yeah, it is still active.
and it's still active now. Obviously, it's not, the elements are not all there to produce like what happened to Pompeii, you know. But we could, I mean, honestly, that could be a thing. Like, and where do you even go? I mean, I guarantee my state would be decimated. I think obviously North Dakota, South Dakota, upper Midwest would be completely wiped out. I think most of the eastern or western seaboard would be wiped out. Eastern probably would get all the black clouds and just all that stuff. Like, just yeah, it would be. I mean, and then globally that would affect everybody because we're all tied together in some way.
Yep.
You know? It's incredible. Like, to think about that. And they were talking about this back in like I think the '90s. I first started
Mm-hmm.
hearing about the super volcano stuff. And they'd make like whole documentaries on like the History Channel and Discovery and Learning Channel back when those were actually good stations
Yeah.
and not full of woke shit. It was all science and on history, but it's incredible, yeah. And I mean, I guess I wouldn't put it past that we'd actually have a Pompeii. I honestly don't think that's out of the realms of possibility. You know,
You never
biblically
say never.
biblically speaking, the Earth is destroyed by fire by at 2/3, like it was flooded. 2/3 of the Earth was destroyed. 2/3 is a hell of a lot of landmass to be destroyed by fire. Volcano, that can do it. So I know people probably don't want to hear about religion or whatever. Well, you know what? Get used to it because guess what? It's going to happen, like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So, anywho, but yeah, that's the Thailand thing was kind of a surprise. But then again, I think that's in a region that is prone to a lot of earthquakes.
Yeah.
I don't know how close they are to a tectonic plate shift.
Actually, I can
I don't know
probably.
if because are they in line with the Ring of Fire at all, or is that too far away from them? Because I know that goes up to Hawaii, but I don't know how far into those continents it could go, or those countries it could go. I'm not a geologist,
Mm-mm.
but I do work at 1K frequency. Oh, by the way, brief chat here. Are we still running the sale?
Yes, the sale's still going on until likely the end of April.
Yay.
Oh,
Get your Dazz merch.
Yeah.
yes, go get it. Go get it. Go buy. You know you want it.
Go get
You know you need it.
it.
Yep, you
And
know you need it.
who knows? Maybe a certain community manager is maybe planning on purchasing some to give away. So maybe if people watch and support
not?
the channel, they might get something in return.
Yep. And you know what? Do we have bold color options?
There is.
Like
There's more in the works.
Yeah, like
There's more in the
if you've
works.
got like bold, like I could probably set us up with like different variations of our logo and like different colors to kind of counter like contrast. So
I was working on
if
that.
we have like, you know, reds, blues, pinks, yellows, you know, whatever in spectrums, that would be pretty cool.
I was
Just
working
no
on
green. Yeah, but just no green.
that. Sorry, there's
Fuck green.
screens. There's screens.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Green is no good color. Look, leave green to the trees, the grass, traffic lights, whatever, but I do not like the color green.
You broke
Yes.
you broke my Irish heart.
Well, I'm almost partially Irish too.
See, there we go.
Not a very big part of her. But the sad thing is we have both Scottish and Irish.
Mhm.
So to quote Mickey Rooney, half of us want to drink, the other half don't want to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. I did
He
drop.
could tell the joke better. He could tell the joke better than I can.
I
He
did
was
drop the
making-
1K frequency spring edition T-shirts that are actually in lighter colors
Ooh.
for the spring. It's
So
on
spring into action.
spring into
Go
action.
get yourself some. Go get yourself some spicy, awesome 1K frequency merch right now today. Link is most likely pinned to the comment section. Correct?
And it's also pinned in the description. As always.
Voice. I still have to change out the text on this.
Yeah, you're very picky. I'm still waiting for that order to come
Well,
in.
yeah, but dude, I don't have control over the text inside the thing like you are. And you never give me a chance to meet up with you and say, hey, let's go through this quickly. I just want to change like the executive producer Skittle Kicks logo because I don't like the font.
Let's do that after after the stream.
I really can't because I actually do have some shit I gotta do after the show. I do have some responsibilities, so I would say honestly the best time would be this weekend. This weekend
All
would
right.
be the best time.
Deal.
So,
Just
yeah,
shoot
so
me a
I'd say
text.
like probably like Saturday afternoon or evening. I mean, we could spend like a couple hours
Deal.
modifying stuff.
Deal.
Cool. And then watch. We'll both forget.
Saturday I still have to fucking work. God damn it. It's a triple remote I have.
We'll do that
we
to
have
get off work then. How about? Well, no, actually, on Saturday you'll probably be too damn tired. That's usually what happens.
Depending on what I have to do this Saturday, whether I'm working the
I have a
Portuguese
feeling
remote
you're
or
gonna-
the Italian remote. One works.
You're gonna be working grunt. You're going to be shoveling dirt. I don't know why I had this in my head. You're going to be doing something that is so laborious. You're going to be like, yeah, fuck this. I'm going to bed. Fuck this. I'll eat some food, spend some time with my niece, and go to bed.
Well,
Dazzo
depending on
was
what
old.
I'm old.
Old. That's always old. What? You up there, Sonny? I can't hear you.
There it is.
Yeah, makes sense. So,
Oh Lord.
What's that?
Oh man.
I said, oh Lord.
Uh-huh.
There's more
Yeah.
more products that are going to be added in the near future.
Yay.
Yep.
I'm always working on products. There's no ifs and or buts about that. But if you guys want to save some money and get some Dazz merch,
As
Go
soon
get
as
it
you
now.
mentioned as soon as you mentioned no butts about it, I just thought feety pajamas with a little butt flap trap in the back. I don't know why I thought that.
I mean that could be a thing. But check out the snapback.
And when he said that, I thought about last night when I got Granny Swag's
Oh god.
I got Granny Swag's stuck. I got her butt stuck in a trash can.
I saw that. I was like, what the fuck?
I don't.
Oh
I don't
my
even
god.
want to, dude. I don't even want to know. I want. As Sergeant Schultz once said, "I know nothing. I see nothing."
Right, she gets herself into some peculiar situations. Okay,
She
she got
does.
her catheter stuck in a mailbox. She got her butt stuck in a trash can. She got blown off of a mobility scooter. One before her SLRP days, she got a cucumber stuck up her ass.
Oh, thank God it wasn't pickled. Ooh.
Wow. Oh my
Got a-
god.
She got a squash stuck up there too once.
Oh, okay then.
I was thinking it would be like a bull shark, half a grandma. Might be an elephant.
Oh jeez.
You just never know what can be shoved up that ass. They don't call it wide load for nothing.
My
Oh
god.
my god.
Wow. Imagine
My
being a
God.
proctologist.
Uh,
1K frequency after dark granny swag edition.
no, no.
Mikey better be grateful he's not here tonight because he'd be like,
Well,
I'm out.
he's not here, so now I gotta make all the weird comments.
Oh, God.
That's usually his job.
You're not wrong. Not wrong. But I do miss Mikey's. I actually do miss his energy. Sad that he's so damn busy these days, but
I know.
but he has a life. A life.
Yeah, unfortunately, he gotta pay the bills.
Yep. But we still need to find his
I
video.
I was trying to work on
Yeah.
that, but
We
still
need to
don't see
find
it.
that because that was the ultimate. That's the ultimate Fafo moment. I swear to God, he got like. You ever seen the movie Metal Jacket?
Mm-hmm.
He literally got like this drill sergeant. He got like Gunny, like the Gunny Sarge. Just in how he tore into that. The fact that happened live while we were streaming.
I know.
And I'm sitting there like, the fuck is going on? I mean, we were like, people don't realize this. Dazzo and I just shut up. Like, we did not talk during that whole thing. You know,
Yeah.
you would just hear like the trucks rumbling or like we were like dumbfounded that was even going on.
I mean, my entire technical live stream collage of all streams, half the things that we hear when Mikey's in the live stream with us.
When he's in his mode,
It's-
when he's in
it's
his
insane.
like, dude,
We
yeah.
heard things nobody should be even hearing.
I'm like, oh, we're gonna get banned.
We
I was like, I'm like, oh fuck, do we need?
I mean,
like,
even before
there's no, we don't have like a delay censor button type of thing.
no.
No,
We
because he
even
was not
heard
muted when this happened.
we even heard when Mikey was before he left Vegas or Salt Lake City. He was in Vegas and he was under attacked by people on shift.
Yep.
While we were playing ATS or some other games, he was
were not expecting
literally
it.
getting it.
We
Yeah.
need to. We gotta. I mean, I know you got a lot of videos. Jim. We gotta find where those started at and just make a simple montage of like all these Mikey moments.
Oh my god.
You know. No, I mean, because they are gems. I mean, like
They
that's,
are.
I mean, look, I know that some of that shit is probably like, how does this even go out? But I mean, it was such high class entertainment. I mean, first of all, people don't ever fuck with that guy. He will fuck you up. He is not playing. What you hear in those videos, if you can find them, what you hear, he's on duty. You respect, chat with him, whatever, but do not piss that guy off.
Yep.
So, Glockenspiel will be your enemy.
And trust me, me and Mikey go way back. So me and him are technically somewhat of a brother. I know how Mikey
No,
feels.
I think you guys are basically brothers from another mother, without a doubt. You know,
Oh my
even though
god.
he's wanted probably to disown you a few times.
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I'm not saying there's anything like shenanigan, but then again, I'm not saying there really isn't shenanigan.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm trying to start a rumor mill.
Of course you are.
Mhm.
Of course.
I mean, I still say hashtag blame toxic, even though he's barely ever here.
Mhm.
So,
Hashtag blame toxic.
you have a name like that, you know? Can you imagine if he was actually in the military? Like, because the grunts will fuck with you Severely. Can you imagine him getting fucked with in the military?
Oh God.
Oh Lord.
Dude. Fragility is not a thing you want to bring into the military.
Nope.
So,
Anyways.
by the way, if you didn't know, I did post in the show prep room regarding the mechanic.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, it's if you go into that room.
Ooh.
I mean, it looks really cool. Yeah, it looks really cool.
Um.
I just love the fact that it's got big damn it buttons. I want the big damn it buttons. Those are awesome.
I just saw something that I might start working on.
Uh-oh.
An entire kids section of clothing.
Oh God.
Oh Lord.
If he's looking at
Yeah.
lingerie,
My own advice to you is don't go in too hard and too deep before we even make, make.
I was just browsing and apparently
I know,
they
but you just browsing turns into 15 more things that people can
Hey.
sell.
I never saw this like a couple weeks ago. So they just
I'm
recently added all the kids clothing stuff.
I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, buy your 1K frequency merch so Dazzo's time is actually worth it. Pretty please.
I mean, 40% off on selected merch. Why not?
Yeah, I know, but
Go get it. Especially
Yeah.
that snapback. Ooh, that thing was spicy. Go get
you heard it here, folks. Get our 1K frequency.
it.
Get our spicy snapback.
It is spicy.
Yeah.
I mean,
when you have a model like yourself, of course it's gonna be spicy.
Okay, I mean, I have to sit in between you.
See now you guys know how I feel when you guys are talking about tech, and I'm trying to seem like I understand what the hell you're talking about.
I'm not referring to that at all.
Oh,
I'm
no,
not referring to that at all.
No, I know.
I'm referring to something completely different here.
Oh, I know.
So,
Oh, I know.
read those notes there. But anyway, yeah.
The wheel
I'm
is
glad that he actually didn't say snapback strap on, because that would totally be a thing that he would do if it ever became a thing. It would be the first customer.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It'll be our first customer.
Can we make like a
Wait,
1K
what the fuck did I just see?
Let's make a 1K frequency sports bra. Let's do it. No.
The one in the K are on the cups.
Yes.
Why is this an actual thing?
You literally just find a strap on.
No.
That would.
I accidentally went into the Steam store. I was browsing something, and there is a actual game called the Jeff Jesus Bezos Simulator, replicating Jeff Bezos from Amazon.
Oh wow.
No lie.
Really?
No lie. It's a game.
So what is the goal, to kind of set the guy on fire because even now he's being attacked? Really? Oh yeah, did you hear about this? Like this one guy I heard about is actually going to the Whole Food stores and literally stealing. And he says, "Yeah, I'm a Catholic, but I kind of feel like this is okay to do." And then when he told his mother about this, he's like really pissed at him. But then he's like, "Well, yeah, but he did this, he did this, he did this." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm on board with that. Go ahead." Wow.
I'm just gonna post that in the chat just because.
Are you shitting me? That's a thing?
It is a thing. I'm looking at all the reviews right now, and it's literally called Beth Bezos.
It's a fucking game.
Well, they did do one for Trump, so I mean that's not a surprise. They did this for Bezos. Is there one for Elon? I have to wonder.
I love like these comments now. Really fun game. And the next one is game is heavily bugged and stocks are keeping me disappointed. Jeff Bezos wouldn't let this happen.
I like how the gaming minimum, the recommended requirements for this game are actually decent.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Oh my god, it just dropped in like last November.
I
was surprised that this game actually popped up on my feed.
Right. So one of the reviews says CEO entrepreneur born in 1964 Beffrey Bezos. Come on, Beffrey, you can do it. Pays way, put your back into it.
It's insane. The things that you find on Steam.
Beffrey Bezos.
I mean,
I'm not honestly. I'm not surprised. I mean, look at the logo for like that. One of the video clips showed like wholesalers. It's like literally like in the Whole Foods logo. Practically, I'm like, wow. Yeah, you're gonna get sued. But then again, maybe old Beth has a sense of humor. I don't know.
I mean,
and the funny thing is, here's what's really funny about this. It literally says, "Is this game relevant to you?" And it shows my game Supermarket Together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this should be for those people like Supermarket Simulator. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is Amazon.
This came out last year. Yeah, this came out last year. Huh.
This is Amazon Roleplay, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly now thinking if they're doing this, then how much you want to bet they're gonna make a Tesla dealership and like you have to fight off people burning your cars up.
Hey, nope, they'll put it up to the peeps. They will fucking do it.
I know that's the problem. They will do shit like that because, I mean, lunatics are a thing.
I'm curious to actually play this game.
You're gonna buy the game, aren't you? Are you just gonna do the demo? Because apparently the demo is different than the actual game.
Of course.
The game is, they said the thing was done differently.
Of course. I mean, the game doesn't look too bad from graphic wise, so they must be using some sort of Unity. If not Unity, it's
I mean it's very ones. Like probably like if you look at the graphics, it probably looks like 2012, 11 graphics, but that's fine. I don't think it needs to be really fancy.
No, because you can do a lot of games with older game engines.
Oh yeah.
I'm curious to know what engine they're using. So I might actually put that in. It
does look like Unity, but just based on what I'm seeing in the photographs, but
I'm gonna call this Amazon Roleplay, Dazz edition.
Oh God, he's buying the fucking game.
He is.
I'm gonna see this in my freaking Steam overlay. It's gonna say he recently added this game to his library. I know it'll say that.
That was the Dazzo Evo Labs, and 110% know he's gonna do it.
Oh wait, that means we gotta have like Dazzo needs to change his name to be like call yourself Fafo. Fafo plays Dazzo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why didn't they call him like Biff? Like Biff would have been hilarious. Biff would have been funny as fuck. Biff? I mean, come on, you can't be creative with it. You call it Biff. Biff would have made sense.
I'm just curious to find out how good this game is. From what I'm reading the reviews,
you guarantee you somebody's already got a YouTube video out there. Somebody's already got YouTube.
Not if I can help it. I'll be the first one to do it as soon as tomorrow.
Yeah, I think you're already going to be too late. I'm going to carry it. I'm going to look it up right now. I'm going to see.
It's only 3.72 gigabyte. Under 4 gigs.
It's a very small. Which means it's probably a small map.
I'm really curious to play this game tomorrow. If I get
It's already
a chance
showing up
to.
in the search results. Yep. Let's see. Okay, so Canada's Alone. He's played this one. I know who he is. He's a big time YouTuber. He's already played this. Rusty Champagne, Inside Gamer R. I know who he is. Yeah, so big time YouTube players are playing this one. And we're talking streams. We're talking streams. So yeah, we're talking multiple hours. This guy's already getting 10,000 views. Granted, how many of those are bots though? I'm sorry. I look at every one of these YouTube channels. I'm like, yeah, how much is this bot loaded?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, people are actually like, this is like a first look. 4 months ago. So yeah, everybody jumped on this game like 4 months ago. So yeah, this is roughly around the time it released.
I'm just curious. We'll find out on the next live stream.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into this blind and wait till your results come in.
We could review the game actually next Tuesday.
Well, guess who will be doing that review? It ain't gonna be Skittle Kicks, I can tell you that. Look, I used to work for old Beffo. Okay, I worked for his conglomerate called I'm trying to think of a name that would be different than that name, but I can't. So, Amazon. There we go. I used to work for Scamazon. I've been a long-time Prime member since like the first decade of the 2000s. Yeah. And there's according to your post, when you actually posted, it says 227 recommendations.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Hmm.
I'm really curious to find out how good this game really is.
I mean, if this gets into like the like a lot of the million level subscribers, I can see. I mean, if I see Squirrel playing this game, I'm gonna be like, well, he's kind of into 2 Point Museum right now. That's kind of what his thing has been going on lately since he's been back from being sick. He's been doing 2 Point Museum, which same people that made 2 Point Hospital made this game.
Yep.
And by the way, if you want to laugh, pick that game up. 2 Point Museum has the most hilarious radio station stuff on it.
I saw that.
Yeah. It's actually a pretty fun. I never played 2 Point Hospital. I did watch videos on 2 Point Hospital, but I ended up buying. I actually bought the other hospital game. The people that made High Rise, that game.
Yeah, this is a Sega. Sorry. Yeah, this is a Sega publisher. Good old Sega.
Sega, please unfuck yourselves.
Look,
Look, you did a great job with Sonic competing with Mario back in the 90s. Better.
Do better.
You've been a company for decades. Come on, do better. We know you're a good company. We know it, but why would you publish this?
Because they're not the actual devs.
No, but they enabled the devs to have a point of sale, essentially. Being published gives you that push.
Yeah.
Oh well.
We'll find out. We'll see.
Ember, you want to wager? Wager a couple dollars that he's going to put this game in his list either tonight or tomorrow.
Right.
It'll be in his inventory tomorrow.
He probably already has it. He's just lying on camera.
I can verify. I can verify this because I have him, as you know.
Yeah.
So, all I gotta do is open up my friends list here.
I already bought it.
I told you. Yep. And tomorrow he's going to stream it. I know.
Maybe
he will.
tomorrow. I don't know yet. I don't know. I'll have to see.
Oh Lord.
Well, he has to find something to replace that nightmare that was Ambulance.
Well, that was a PGA Tour 2K25.
Well, yeah. I
Still
don't
one of
know.
the best games.
Well, not a whole lot's going to replace that because you are a golfer. You're a golfing legend. So I mean, Tiger Woods should take lessons from you.
No, I'm sorry. I can't match up to Tiger's pedigree.
Oh Lord.
Well, that depends on what kind of pedigree. Driving off a cliff, womanizing. I mean, you have your pick of poison. Man.
Oh Lord.
Oh God.
Honestly, when I first heard about him back in the 90s, I actually did not see what all the hype was. But then when you start seeing his actual progress as a golfer, it's like, holy shit, he's actually really fucking good.
He was
Nice.
the one to beat.
He is like, he's like not even human at that point. It's like, how, like, you've got to be an android or something.
Oh boy.
So, the 24th century is calling. Data wants his body back. Data wants his positronic brain back.
Speaking of calling, I'm hungry. I need food.
Yeah, and I need to.
Well, you do. You
take
do
off
have a
after.
game called Fast Food Simulator, so I mean, you could play that.
I
Yes.
yeah, I'm playing that on Thursday. So
Okay.
yeah.
I may
Okay,
try to join you.
Okay.
I may try.
Yeah, I have a few other people who said they want to play too, so we might want to get a group together. We'll see.
Well, it's too bad that Squirrel and his fans already called it Five Morons because that was a perfect title. And before that, they were calling themselves McMorons.
Oh, well, mine, nah, mine's gonna be burnt ass burgers because I always burn them.
Burnt
bad
ass
bitch.
burgers. Wow.
Yeah, or bad. Well, my place is called Bad Bitch Burgers. Come get some burnt ass burgers from Bad Bitch Burgers.
It sounds like you're saying ass burgers like the disease. And that's what makes it really funny. That's what makes it really, really funny.
No, burnt ass burgers.
I know what you're saying.
Burnt ass hamburgers. There we go.
Oh, I know what you're saying. It's just
Yeah.
the way it was hitting my ears. Like, did she just say that online?
Burnt ass. Alrighty then. Well, anyway.
I mean, it is fun. It is actually funny because they had to tour McDonald's to get that layout.
Yeah.
They had to because that looks like a McDonald's layout for sure.
Yeah, or a Wendy's. One of the two.
Funny thing is, I worked when I was a young adult. I worked at Sub. I was a sandwich artist. Yeah, coming home every night stinking of that food was horrible.
Yeah.
But my fun experience was using the really interesting bread knife to cut one of those deli roll sandwiches for a kid's meal. I literally cut through my thumb down to muscle.
Ow.
Damn.
And I bled all over the vein. That was not fun. I was the only one there that could actually do anything because this happened just before 8 o'clock, and guess who was working there? High schoolers, so guess who had to leave at 8 o'clock? And my manager didn't want to come in because he was too busy watching Xena, Warrior Princess.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never got over that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, do we have anything else on the docket here, gentlemen?
Nope.
No, I'm just wondering what other games he's gonna fucking buy just because. This is like you just said. He spent $1,600 a month. Most of that goes to you, Ember, and then the rest of it goes to games.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably like eating bugs or whatever because he can't afford food.
Oh Lord.
No, actually, no. He actually upgraded from the bugs to ramen.
Or bugs in ramen.
Ramen is good.
Ramen is so fucking full of sodium and salt. You understand what you're doing to
Mhm.
Do you understand what you're doing to your arteries?
No.
Oh, dude,
I
don't worry.
had-
I know exactly what it's doing.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
keeping it full.
Hardening
Lord.
of the arteries is a real thing.
Yeah. No. For lunch, I had a whole bell pepper cut in half with pickle salsa, salami, and hot sauce.
I know a lot of like my family does it once in a while. We'll actually take bell peppers and like put like chicken and like stir fry them.
Oh yeah, they're delicious.
I love bell pepper, but I just never had a taste. Well, I think maybe it was just because it's basically like a fajita type of mix.
Yeah.
It was like
Oh,
that
yeah.
mix inside of a pepper and a stuffed
Mhm.
pepper, and I was like, I mean, I love bell peppers, but that combination just didn't sit
Yeah.
right with me.
Yeah,
I
I
just never
gotcha.
liked it.
Yeah. I make a good stuffed pepper too with like some turkey meat. It's delicious.
Yeah.
I do love the Bodak ramen noodles. Those are so
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, those
Especially
ones that are like, yeah, those are not. Yeah, those are like not. Those are not the packets. They're like the big bowls, right?
Both.
No, that's not. Yeah, it's both.
Oh, they are the. Okay.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I
black,
got
the black label and the red label ones are the real spicy ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't do.
I've-
I can't do spice anymore at my age.
I've tried the carbonara. They're good.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wanna go for
But see,
the real spice,
Yeah, when you make yours, do you put a lot of water in it? Because
oh,
I eat
you're
mine more
technically
like pasta.
supposed. So with these
It's
ones,
supposed to be like a soup, but I actually make it more like a pasta, so I eliminate a lot of the water.
with the actual Bodak noodles, you're supposed to just boil them enough, and then you just drain the water out, and then put out a hot sauce.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because most times you like put enough, you put a water in there and you put like the pasta in it, let it all separate and whatever.
I mean,
But
yeah, you
I
can
don't.
technically.
It says not to strain it because it's supposed to be like a soup. But
Yeah.
I prefer it like a pasta myself. But then I also one thing is don't add the packet because that's where all the sodium is.
So,
But then pasta's not good for diabetics, so kind of fuck either way.
I want to use the actual Bodak spices in there, and do the reverse with pasta.
I have a
Do
I
it
have a
with
question,
freaking
though.
macaroni or freaking rotini.
Oh, that'd be good.
Those
By the
would be
way-
nice.
Are we being assholes to Ember? Didn't she just say a moment ago that she's really hungry, and we're talking about food right now?
Well,
Are we
that's
not assholes?
Well, you're fine.
She's so
Yes,
nervous about
fine.
saying anything like, "You guys are fuckers for doing this to me."
No, well, I mean,
One
kind
K
of.
frequency
'cause
means you
now-
can speak your mind.
Well, I mean, kind of, because now we're just still sitting here talking about food, and I was like, aren't we done with topics? I'm hungry.
Yeah, I will give you one story though. Never do this, kids. But when I was in 5th grade, I really wanted an egg salad sandwich for lunch. That sat in my locker. for
Oh
lunchtime.
no!
Oh.
You walk down the hallway.
Oh god!
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There was a green mist, like literally somebody ripped
my God.
ass. I didn't realize that. Yeah, you can't do that with eggs or mayo. You really
I
can't.
know.
It's called it'll go bad.
I know.
And every person, I was like, okay, hopefully nobody knows what that is. Hopefully nobody. And every person that walked in that hall was like freaked, like, oh my god, what is that stink? And like even the teachers were like, what was that? And I was looking around, I'm looking, no, you don't know who it is. And it was obviously in my locker, and I'm like, and they're like, this is egg salad. You can't have this in your locker. And I'm like, well, I'm hungry. Like, you will get sick eating this because it is warm. It is not supposed to be room
Yeah.
temperature. You're supposed to keep it cold. Well, first of all, we
Okay.
don't have refrigerator access except this teacher's lounge, and I don't even know if we would have had permission to do that. I think they probably would have had I asked, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
I think after that, I either had like PB&J or soup or something, typically for my box lunch. So anyway, I'll shut up about food now because I'm even making myself hungry. I haven't even had dinner yet. I've like barely eaten anything.
Neither have I. I've just had my bell pepper. So,
Last thing I ate
anyway.
was probably like 12 hours ago.
Oof.
Mm.
All right. That's
Anyway,
wrap it up.
let's probably wrap up this show. So,
Yeah.
Dazzo, go ahead and close us out.
No, let Ember do it.
Alrighty.
All right, fair enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for watching 1K Frequency right here on Dazz Radio. Don't forget to check out the link to the merch, 40% off until the end of April. You heard it here first. For myself, Ember Rose, Dazzo Nation over there, and Skellkicks, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.